Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Wizards and Wardrobes, where we may be meeting some famous people this week. Maybe. So as we go around today, I'll get a collaborative recap of last week. See what went on. In the meantime, however, let's quickly go through some things. We have some social links. Go and check out our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Discord for the community. YouTube for catching up, and Twitter to get a game. I'm currently running 40 games around Christmas time in 13 days, so drop me a DM and I'll get you in one of those games. It's actually technically 41. I'm doing 40 on this channel. I'm doing one on another channel.
I'm
who's
DMing a
counting?
game.
You are. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. What else am I doing? Patreon. Check out our Patreon. We have free stuff. We have not free stuff. And you can also set up alerts so that it flashes up on the screen, so you can take advantage of your in-stream things if you have them. We also have merch. Hang on a minute, because I know I've got a code. Hang on. Yesterday there was 30% off. Today there's 25% off, but you have to use a certain code. This is like the red bubble thing at the minute.
It's something.
Yeah, it's like all day 25 or all 25 day or something like that.
One day
25%.
more.
Get 25 today. There we go. So if you want to go and get yourself some, if you want to go and get yourself some merch today, you can get it for 25% off with that code right there. So head over, check it out, and who knows, maybe it'll be an ideal Christmas present for someone, preferably someone who watches the channel. It'd be a bit weird if they didn't. But I mean, I'll take the advertisement. So that's the merch. Guys, also check out our sponsors. We have Bird in the Storm Publishing, who create some wonderful content. They will be bringing us a second module of the Midnight Wield sometime soon, and in the new year they'll be creating us regular content. Also, Mage Hand Press. They created Dark Matter, which is the D&D 5e space expansion. If that sounds interesting to you, then check out those links. Lastly, we have a tweet. Every 10 retweets, we get a Wild Magic Surge, and I am yet to go and update. So whilst I hastily go and check out that tweet and how well it's doing, why don't we go round? Should we start top left or bottom right? Charlie or Rachel? Who wants to go first?
I could go first because I think Rachel just disappeared. So last week I was not here, but I was watching from chat vaguely consciously. So I happen to remember last week was a week of montage, a week in which we improved our levels and gained new skills and abilities. And not only that, but everyone was caught up on our big plan to meet Jarlaxle, to get more insight into what was going on with the corruption of the city and the changes that we'd returned from the Feywild to see. We know that our good friend Samiel is under house arrest after some trouble with, I believe they're called the Golden Watch, from what I remember. I'm not very good at names. And there were a few shenanigans, as are to be expected, which I'm sure the various shenanigan doers will explain as we move around. But Dave herself last week was away training. She had to seek out a few experts for the things that she wanted to learn. And her egg, or hers and Falja's egg, was left to be babysat by our ogre friend in the Fey Patron. For my part, Dave, I'm sure we'll kind of hop into it a little bit, but Dave was away with the secret in a pocket dimension for a long time. And she also managed to get some time with Samiel to learn a few bardic secrets. And I think that's where we are. I think we left things back in the Fey Patron as our plans fell into place. And I think Dave is probably about to return to get on with our goings-on.
Yes. In fact, I'll probably start a little bit with you and your montage. That would be fantastic. Sorry, coming. She'll be right back in a second. I'm not going to fix the cams. It'll probably take longer.
Everyone knows who we are anyway.
Yeah. You've got what you can see one of my arms here and one of my arms over here.
Yeah, it's just
It's a perfect illusionist trick. So
Why don't we go to Chorus next, since he's fully in shot, and then we'll come to you. Hopefully, Stuart, you'll be back in shot when Rachel comes back. So, oh hi, Chorus.
Hey, so Red Leaf, when they went to go and meet with their Harper friend, kind of expected there to be a giant trap waiting for them. And so had spent most of the session trying to sneak into the house. Ended up going blind for a bit on the wall. That was fun, and had to be led, though not very well, by Gust up the side of the wall. As she was investigating the house, she found that there was this giant portrait of a demon with her and her friends on it, as well as Jarlaxle and some others. Eventually, she went down to the kitchen, found a very cranky old man, and proceeded to pretend to be his conscience to try to get him to tell her how to get to her friends. And there was this whole thing about that. Apparently, he really needs to talk to his kids. He needs to take that first step, because as a father, he needs to be the one to reach out. But besides how important that was, she did meet up with her friends again, and now they're planning to meet with Jarlaxle. And it was at that point that they were kind of hit by a number of people that decided to crash the party, aka guards. And after that little bit of nonsense, they found out they weren't actually guards, but were drow in disguise, and are now all tied up. So yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, more to discover here, clearly. Stuart, you are back in shot now. Oh, hi, and welcome back, Rachel.
Hi. I spaced out for a second there. Where am I? Who are you?
This is the Wizards and Wardrobes one.
Is it? Oh shit! They wheeled me out for this one. I can't remember. It's been a week since I've been conscious. Hi guys, I'm Stuart, and I'm playing Rapture, who wasn't here for a while and then came back and had a plan, and what happened badly explained to him, and then me as Stuart haven't actually had explained to me what actually happened, so I'm still very confused as to what's going on. But that's perfect, because all I did last week was get everyone else's good friend Samael under house arrest and now being executed, because I'm a true friend. That's what I do. But then after that, we, as Cora said, we had a wonderful little tete-a-tete with some Golden Company guards, which involved a lot of yakety sacks before we eventually subdued them and are going to question them now, I assume. Because we dumped them down in the cellar where we had the assassin previously, right?
The go-to NPC storage unit, the
Yes,
cellar.
Yeah, we put them in our backpack, which is our wine cellar.
Fantastic. So, last but most certainly not least, welcome back, Rachel.
Hello. Really sorry about internet issues, guys. I've literally no idea what's causing it. Anyway, yes, I'm Rachel. I am playing the Asimar Warlock Tazil. And I think she did an excellent job of catching Rapture up last week. He understands everything perfectly because of me and Foucher.
I mean, what else is there to say, really? I mean, it was the perfect catch up. Just clearly Rapture isn't grasping something, but.
I mean, I'm pretty sure about 50% of it was me as Stuart not grasping it. So, you know, I'm not going to beat on them too much about it, but
As catch-ups go, I think that was my favorite catch-up of all time. So why don't we start then with a little bit of Dave. Dave, give us a little window into this training montage. How does it all begin?
I believe it begins with the Secret whispering a magic word and opening up the door to his pocket world, and Dave hopping through with a flip-flop of her birdie feet because they still make noise every time she steps. And inside, I imagine it's like a dojo. It's a Karate Kid style dojo where there are upstanding logs to hop from. There are rope swings. There's a bull pit, and all along the back wall is a giant library. It's a giant bookcase. It's a space of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And beyond here are the rooms in which the Secret has done his own experimentations, his own works, which we found out a bit about from Falja and the Secret with the orb of fire that she had, which Dave doesn't know about, but Charlie does. So Dave assumed position atop an upright log, 1 foot held up like a flamingo, wings poised. And the Secret asked her what it was that she needed to learn. And Dave declared, like a phoenix rising. You must keep the egg warm, Dave. As she insisted on learning more about the way of the phoenix, wanting to fulfill what she believes is the role that Falja has given her in many ways, wanting to live up to a promise she had made, as it is written. And as such, she learned a few tricks, one of which she found as she hopped from log to log and swung across the water pit and into the bull pool, was that she could change shape. Many shapes. All the shapes. A giant grew. Although declaring hiya with a lizard mouth was very difficult. And she took a long time just playing around with the polymorph spell until she realizes that 4th level slots do wear out even if you spend sorcery points to get new ones. And from there, the dojo changed around her and became a dark space. And the bull pit she was in became a round sand circle. And the Secret commanded that she create fire. A fire that was hard to put out. And they worked tirelessly on this fire. And it grew within Dave, and it grew within the circle. And eventually she mastered the immolation spell, which is a big 5th level fire spell. And the entire room was ablaze. And she used a careful spell, a sorcery ability to keep herself and the Secret safe from this fire that could not be put out save for magical means. And she reduced many sandbag enemies to ashes. Mm-hmm. And then she demanded food and ale, please, because that was a very tiring workout and it was a lot to learn in a short space of time. But the Secret was not done. The Secret reminded Dave of the conflicts between her and Lucian's father. Conflicts in which she found her spells were very ineffectual due to the fact that if you are resistant to fire, fire does not hurt you. And this was one of the last big lessons the Secret taught her, which was the Chaos Bolt. A bolt of pure wild magic, which could take many different forms, depending purely on the luck of the dice, it would seem. And as they sat down and ate, they continued to talk over what it was that Dave kind of wanted from life, and wanted from things. Dave's answers not very comprehensive due to the limited vocabulary she has to work with, and unable to shift into Aarakocra form, having done that fairly recently. And the Secret realized after much miming of Dave, mimes to do with berries, that Dave really wanted to learn healing magic, which is something beyond his purview. He's a wizard. And he deals a lot with necromantic magic and things of that nature, but not so much the natural healing that Dave is so familiar with as EMT for Falja. And so he kind of clicked his fingers and Dave appeared in the basement at Samiel's house. a place where we had all gathered the day before for a meeting where we found out about the picture and had a plan with Jarlaxle and bait and all of these things. And Dave had a meeting with Samiel, who, as a bard, does have access to the secrets of healing, to magical words that can hurt as well as heal. And Dave had some lessons there too, and acquired some more new tricks as a magic initiate under Samiel. But the golden, what were they called? The golden hand? Golden guard? Watch. Kind of rocked up, seeing Fantasia happening in the basement. And Dave was whisked away before much more than a hint of her black feathers could be caught by the guards. As she was meant to be training, she was not really meant to be here. And I'm not sure where she ended up after that. I don't know if she ended back up at the Fey Patron or if she ended up just somewhere in Waterdeep away from the arriving guards. Possibly a dimension door from Samiel, as I believe that's a spell we know he can do. He just kind of threw her through it. And
Yeah, possibly. Or there's also the opportunity to spend some time with the flock if you'd like to.
yes, this is something else that Dave had to do. Dave had to go up on the roof as night was falling to complete the nightly ritual and meet up with her kin to see how they fared as things were changing in Waterdeep. And they traveled across the rooftops to the Glassblowers Guild because Dave wanted to take them to see the stained glass window of Alice, the dawn over the sea. And what did we find there?
Sorry, the door. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the Glassblowers Guild.
Yes.
That's the sacred site for Dave, believer of Alice.
You went during working hours?
This would have probably been, I'm guessing, probably like 6 o'clock in the evening because it's kind of like winter time, right? So it's dark really early, but it's not like full on night.
So, maybe you see, I think it was Ebenezer, who was,
That sounds about right.
I think it was Ebenezer Splooge, who was, locking up the, he's locking up the doors of evening time. And, I mean, you're above, like, looking down, right? So he's locking up the place, he's sort of, like, tutting.
Yes. Seeing as he's looking up, the flock descends, shimmying down drain pipes, hopping from window ledge to washing line, all the ways we have practiced our descents without the ability to fly. Dave continuing on, because she sometimes forgets she can fly. She forgets this other thing. She spent a long time not being able to. And so I think a group of about 6 of the flock have kind of assembled down in front of Ebenezer Splooge. Dave in the lead.
So he'll lock the door, he'll sort of turn around and be like, Mom! It's you! Well, where have you been?
Like a phoenix rising.
It's been a week. I've had my my serving lady clean out your apartments.
Oopsie daisy. And Dave is going to go into her pockets and find one of the baubles. I seem to remember that Falja and Dave made extra baubles while we were practicing at night. And she'll pull out a little glass bauble. Maybe it's got some sort of Feywild inspired green and purple spiral inside. Some sort of like nebulous design to it.
Been working away from the shop, have you? Let's see it then. And he'll sort of like take it up, and in the moonlight, sort of like he pulls an eyeglass from his pocket. He's like looking up at it. Expert craftsmanship. I can't deny it, but can't have all of this week off at a time, no notice business. Bad for business. We had jobs to go out, you know.
Dave just looks apologetic and nods. Her little clawed foot kind of claws at the cobbles in a bashful kind of way. I'm just looking at my spell list, see if there's anything I can do that will help. Probably not. I think she's gonna use minor illusion to create a see-through, like it's gonna look kind of like what we'd imagine like a hologram, like a little projection on the wall of the Feywild. And she'll cast again, so it becomes kind of like a flickering stop motion description of an adventure in the Feywild. It takes quite a lot of work, and there's a little bit of a bad sweat going on. And she's glancing around because she knows like magic isn't very like well received, so she's keeping it kind of small on this little wall.
All right, listen. It's Friday night. Well, close enough. No, wait, no, it's not. It's Tuesday. You turn up tomorrow, on time. You can have your job back.
No kiss and tell floozies.
Sorry?
No kiss and tell floozies.
Yes, quite. None of them. Quite. Right. Well, do you want your job back?
Yes.
Okay, well then, you... And is that Genasi around with you too?
Yes.
Alright, well the pair of you turn up tomorrow. I'll get you your lodgings back. I'll move all of your things back in. We'll start early. 6 a.m. Have you finished at 4?
Dave is gonna turn to the huddle of Kenku behind her, and there are some orin sounds, some tweets, some twoos, something that sounds like an alarm bell, and I imagine a stork steps forward. It goes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Early till 4.
Yes, perfect. Right then, well, it's time for me to head off and get back to my family, so I'll see you in the morning.
Dave is gonna hold out a wing onto his arm and point to go into the building.
You wanna have a look around?
Yes.
Sort of like pulls a watch from his pocket. I don't see the harm in it. I suppose I was leaving a little early. Come on in. And he unlocks the door and lets you in.
Dave scuttles in and makes sure her mini flock follows, and she'll take them to go and see the stained glass, which I imagine actually doesn't have any light coming through it right now because it's dark outside. And what she is going to do is she's going to cast a green flame blade on her small dagger and hold it up so that they can try and better see, and it's just like a magical ethereal flame that covers her dagger. And as long as she doesn't stab anyone, it will be fine.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you can certainly do this, and the flock looks of interest. There's some coos and noises from the crowd as they're sort of, some of them fluff up a little bit, some of them are sort of craning head to see.
And once they're kind of done, and she's probably like showed them some of the forges and done like a mini little tour. Check out where I work now. She'll give a polite and thankful nod to Ebenezer Splooge, because I don't believe I know thank you. I don't think that is a phrase that Dave actually knows. Which tells you a lot about my venturing party. And she'll she's gonna hand over 1 gold piece from somewhere in her vest of many things, and give that to Ebenezer Splooge as kind of an apology for, I'm sorry I was out of town. Thanks for showing us around. I don't carry change.
I don't carry change.
And she'll kind of swell her brand new cloak, which is orange and purple, and gives her all the charisma in the world. And lead the flock back out into the city.
He'll accept the gold and just be like, oh, look, I Don't mind breaks, just give me some notice, that's all.
Notice, that's all. Dave nods and agrees. And she'll turn to the flock and say, we need a plan. And they will ascend back up onto the roof, and she is going to come up with the plan of polymorphing the stork to take her place at work tomorrow, because she knows she can't go. Because she has a feeling tomorrow is when we're meant to be doing stuff. Or in case she can't go tomorrow, because she doesn't know when the plan is, from what I remember. But she's not sure. And so that's the plan. If she can't go to work, the stork is going to get polymorphed into Dave.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
That's Dave's wonderful plan that she's assuming is going to work. And then she'll skip across the rooftops and down chimneys and around the city until she can get back to the Fae Patron.
Yeah, and we'll say you arrive maybe about 10 minutes after the end of the fighting. So Rapture, Redleaf, and Tazeel, Falja suddenly becomes very concerned with the egg in the basement and with the ogre. And she goes to... she takes the egg and takes it back to Dave and her's apartments that were gifted by the glassblowers.
We've got the top floor with a little portal window that looks out.
What do you guys do in the 10 minutes after the fighting? You were putting them in the basement and coming up with plans mostly.
Well, I've got a rather sizable chunk missing out of my side, my arm. I took like 26 points of damage in one go, so I probably have my hand clamped over that, and I'm just gonna like take a seat for a moment and just chill out. I'm also on a bit of a calm down from some pretty intense rage as well.
Well, thing is that Redleaf actually knows Undercommon, so she's gonna bend down on her knees and just look down and crouch at the kind of entrapped drow and say like, "Hi, cousins. How are you?"
Their disguise only dropped because you knocked them unconscious.
That's okay. I know it's them. So.
Do you want me to get some cold water and wake them up for you?
Yes. Be good.
I can do. I mean, if an Eldritch Blast would work better to wake them up, I can do that.
Oh no, we need them alive. Besides, second time's the charm, I suppose, for ice cold water.
Well, just say I can. I think I can get all through at once. I'll go get some water.
All right.
I'll go limp to get some water.
I wonder if their disguise will come back when they wake up.
Probably.
I want
Seems
to
be a
test
conscious thing. Ooh.
Well, the people of Waterdeep, as cosmopolitan as they are, aren't exactly too entreated with drow.
I mean,
Therefore,
to be fair, that's a reputation that's quite well earned.
perhaps, but it's not my job to talk about which species are and are not accepted. But it could provide us with a very good way to show off exactly who the Golden Company are in a very simple fashion.
Okay.
Well, they're everywhere, aren't they? They've taken over the City Watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they're all drow, or if this... They mentioned a specific people, didn't they? There was a specific group of them, which I can't remember the name of, because I have a memory like a sieve, but I remember it wasn't English.
I know. I wonder if there's like some outside force out there, maybe a master of dungeons that could remind us what that group was.
If you're misremembering in character, I guess not, as we've just broken the fourth wall. It was the Brigand F.
The Brigand
Yeah.
F. Right.
Does Redleaf know what that is? Or she heard it before?
Do any of you know particularly well about Jarlaxle?
I might.
Take a history
mean,
check on it.
I'll check a history.
I've heard his rep.
You've heard his street cred, his mad street cred.
Some
No, I did not know.
No.
yeah, 11.
On an 11, you'll know that the Brigand F are associated with Jarlaxle. They are loyal to him.
I think they're his cronies. That's what they call themselves.
So like his honor guard of some kind. I say,
Yeah,
bring a
it's-
bucket back with me.
And again, I'm not an expert, but I think that since drow are usually led by women and aren't allowed up on the surface for the most part, unless they're trying to, kill or maim or steal or do all sorts of nasty things, that Jarlaxle's a bit of an interesting case, and I think that these are the drow that have kind of followed him.
Right. They're not the sort to just simply respond to the question with a yes or no. If we would just waltz up to them and go, "Are you Brigand Earth?"
Redleaf is going to look them over. Is there any sort of identifying mark on them, and any sort of like ring or amulet or tattoo that she can see?
Well, that won't matter if they're disguised, though, will it? When they're
It's
awake.
out now.
True.
They each wear dark leather armor, and they have a brooch on their breast, which looks sort of like a beetle spider, or a spider with a almost like a black widow or orb weaver shaped
Like a large
spider.
carapace.
Yeah.
It's a speetle.
I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to use my mage hand to try to grab one of those. Dink. Pull it away. Or at least gonna look at it, be like, I never understood their thing about spiders. Like, why spiders of all things to turn yourself into? Why not a
Nothing wrong
cat
with spiders.
or a dog or I don't know, a dragon?
A dragon. Well, we need to find a way of identifying these Brigand Earth people when they're not blue or purple.
Also, you're familiar with the disguising spells, aren't you, brother? I mean, if we tie their hands, prevent them from.
Right.
Well-
It depends upon the spell, I'd imagine. Certain spells aren't linked necessarily to the person casting them. It could be something on their person. It
Well,
could-
then I guess we have to gag them, tie their hands, and strip them down.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Let's
Might
have
be
free
thorough.
butt naked drow in our wine cellar.
I mean, that would be quite fun for me. But
I
like a
am
New
learning
Year's
more about
party.
you every day, Redleaf.
thank you. I don't think stripping them down is gonna cause them not to be able to disguise themselves. Like, I can do it with just my hands.
Well,
Right.
then we tie their hands and gag them and strip them down. That's why I said we'd, go take all
it's
three.
like-
But
or
is
these brooches could be what's causing it.
the question is that we need to find out is what is what is causing them to disguise themselves. The second thing is we need to find out a good way of identifying the members that are drow when they are disguised.
That's true.
And once we've done that, it's a simple flick of my wrist and they are no longer disguised. And therefore, if they're, say, in a crowded city square, suddenly there's a drow.
I have a meta question because I'm confused. Why do we care who are drow and who are not? Surely they all work for Jarlaxle, so who gives a shit?
Because citizens are less likely to trust someone who randomly turns into a drow from a guardsman in the city square.
Oh, yeah, you're going with the whole exposing Jarlaxle as a deceiver thing. I remember now.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused why we cared. Okay, cool.
Are we planning to attempt to meet with Jarlaxle before or after you enact this?
Well, I don't
Because
know.
I believe that was meant to happen before we attempt this whole risky operation for Samil, which we also mustn't forget about.
Well, the original thing that I was told about after I came back from my tea, you were all going to use Samuel as bait,
Yes.
but we can't do that anymore, as he is on the chopping block.
I mean,
Well,
I kind of just want to break him out, I'll be honest.
Well, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I think we should worry about these folks first. Does anybody know if these if the brooches? Sorry, if these brooches are enchanted? Does anybody have a detect magic spell?
Rapture?
Yes, of course I do.
At this point, it could be a good time for Dave to arrive. Tell me, Rapture, when you put the arcane lock on the door, did you allow it so that Dave could open it too?
I did. I remember specifically. I said us 5.
5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave, you can arrive.
Sling!
Steve,
Oh, hello.
quick, shut the door behind you. Quick, come in, come
Wait,
in.
are we upstairs or are we in the wine cellar?
We're still in the front room,
Oh,
as
okay.
far as I was concerned.
All right.
That's where I was picturing everything going on, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Dave
I'm
is
gonna.
going to hurry over to check her ogre buddy.
Down in the cellar, right?
Oh, did he get moved down to the cellar as well?
I thought so. Or did he put
You
in
moved him away from the fire?
Or did he
No,
get
I
put in
thought
a
he
spare
was
room?
just still in the main room. We
I
didn't
thought
know.
he was too big because we were going to move
Oh,
him.
yeah, that was it.
for any
Yeah,
door.
yeah, because the whole you'd have to move the whole bed, and we haven't managed to do
He's
that yet.
chilling by the fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay, so he's chilling out by the fire.
So yeah, she'll hop up on the bed, and I'm gonna imagine that on her way back she picked up some sort of snack that could go in a paper bag, maybe some sweets or something soft and gummy. I don't know, berries. So
Okay.
she'll hop up and offer those to the ogre, and look expectantly to find out why everyone is so hassled looking.
Yeah, the egg is missing, of course. The ogre's not great. He's sort of yeah, the fiery one took it.
I don't know what my okay phrase is, but
Isn't it just yes?
yes, that will do. I say it all the time. And she'll hold out the bag to the ogre and go, tasty.
Oh, and it'll gratefully take it with large, clammy fingers. Oh, thank you. Nom, nom, nom.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, so we were attacked by Drow, but they may in fact be Jarlaxle's minions because they're actually the Golden Company. The Golden Company have actually been Drow all along, so this might actually be in a huge amount of trouble. I don't know what we're supposed to do next. We said we're going to go rescue Samuel, and now we decide that we're exposing random Drow to the people, and I have no idea what's going on.
There are assassins afoot.
Exactly.
Always, Dave. Always.
There's an assassin on my foot, and she's gonna put her foot on one of the knockdown guys. See? Anybody? Come on,
I'm gonna.
this is gold. Come on.
I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Oh, it's actually a Drow.
As you cast
But an
detect,
assassin, though.
as you cast detect magic, the brooches are not magical. However, each of them wears a ring, which is magical.
All right, so
Mage hand one of those off.
the brooches aren't magical. The rings are magical. We should still
put the
strike
ring on.
anyway because tricksy fellows are probably going to have a dagger stuffed in their breeches or something.
Merciless.
Then
as
we
a
have to
little
check the
son.
breaches.
And Dave will go over and assess the breaches and also the medical needs of these individuals since Falja isn't here.
I'm just going to cast Unseen Servant and have my people that aren't me touch these guards
Now I'm gonna put on the ring.
and undress them and tie them up and take them downstairs.
I will
Again,
also
emulate.
assist you with my mage hand.
Again, just
Dave does it by hand.
emulating Fantasia. Bum, 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 bum.
Just see all these clothing items just. And it's kind
Marching
of
off
like
these
that bit
creatures.
in The Sword in the Stone where he's packing everything.
Yeah,
I think we had that conversation last
Yeah.
time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just folding up clothes. There's some teacups folding up clothes and putting them on the sides, and unseen servants carrying people downstairs, and Bap's just sat there, just like.
I imagine one of the unseen servants tries to lift one of the men, and Dave's still kind of sat on him, trying to like undo his vest or whatever he's got on, and she's very confused as to what's going on.
Everyone, do ours still look the same? And she's gonna like take the ring off, put the ring on, take
Nothing
the ring
happens.
off.
No.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
No, it's probably.
I need more rings. She's gonna just like take all the rings and put them on one hand.
I
It
feel
probably
like
requires some sort of
yeah.
time for you to sit and attune to it, I'd imagine so.
Right. So she'll
Oh.
like bend down and just stare at the rings and try to attune to them.
Either that, or it has a command word, or phrase, or feeling. You know, some magical
Sorry.
items are activated purely for your emotion.
Tuning to it seems difficult. It's as though it's attuned to someone else.
Do we have to kill them before you can attune to it?
Not usually, but in this instance, we might.
No!
You really want to kill anyone?
I
though.
Because I
didn't
think
say
like
so.
like if you take
Let's ask if
something
that was
that
needed.
someone's I think if you take something that someone's attuned to and you would tune to it, then de-attune somebody. I think
An
that's
item
what-
can be attuned to only one creature at a time, and a creature can be attuned to no more than 3 magic items at a time. Yada yada. A creature's attunement to an item ends if the creature is no longer satisfies the prerequisites for attunement, if the item has been more than 100 feet away for at least 24 hours, if the creature dies, or if another creature removes the attunement.
Well,
How do you remove an attunement? I don't know.
It'd just take a little bit of time. Probably it'd take about 2 or 3 hours,
All right,
and some magical knowledge.
I have that.
Well, if you're going to take a few hours to do that, I need to take a rest because I think my small intestine is
wait,
starting.
you're gonna do what to the rings? No, they're my rings.
Hearing Tazzy basically explain that she's injured, Dave is going to hop off of the assassin that she was kind of sat on and come over to inspect Taziel. Looking concerned and for permission, not just flat out groping Taziel. Tazzy, are you hiding?
Dave, I didn't know you were. Not obviously. She's like clamping it to stem the bleeding a bit, but not like hiding it.
Mm-hmm. So I think she's going to very cautiously, with her little feathery fingers, slowly peel back each of your fingers to try and have a look. And she's going
When
to
she sees what you're doing, she'll release her hand.
she's going to hop 5 feet back and then another 5 feet and up on the table and go, potato. And I cast Healing Word at first level on Tazzy's wound. As soon as I find the spell in my spell book.
D4 plus spellcasting modifier.
Awesome. My spell is Charisma, and my Charisma is currently +5. Yes! 1d4, thanks, Stu.
So it has to be asked for at least a small flashback here, Dave. When Samiel was teaching you Healing Word, how did it become potato?
So what actually happened was we were in the basement and finally Dave had explained what it was that she wanted to learn, and he was about to say the magic word and he'd started showing her all the somatic components, and at the top of the stairs appeared his uncle and he was yelling about what was for dinner, and so Dave had potatoes and she assumed that was the magic word.
Perfect. Yep. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, excellent. So,
And apparently it works. So that is now the magic word.
Tazzy, you are healed. At least some.
Well, it's certainly sealed over a bit. Thank you, Dave. I didn't know you were skilled in such areas. Is this a recent development?
Tazzy,
Yes.
You're speaking to Dave the Divine. If they weren't divine, why would they have healing magic?
Potato.
We'll say
I'm not
as
sure how
well.
many times a day I can cast it, but I will keep saying potatoes.
I suppose as many as you've got levels, really. We'll say as well, because your healer is away this week, that Falja, when she left a bag of good berries on the side, so there's another 10 HP sitting on the table that you can distribute amongst yourselves.
I'm just gonna double check if I
Good
can.
berries.
Good berries are good.
They're real good.
So good. Either way, thank you very much, Dave. It's much appreciated. I might do a bit of follow up myself, and I will use healing hands just to add to that.
I can only cast the first level spell once per long rest. So
That's cool. Same with me in healing hands. So I will healing hands myself for another 9 points.
So I imagine she goes to do potatoes again, and she like stares at her fingers and can't figure out why it didn't work again.
Perhaps it was remembering the potatoes thing and wondering if it was right.
And she'll hop down and she'll notice Bowser's berry sack on the table, and she'll grab that and she'll pop one in her mouth because they taste real good, and then she'll offer the rest of the bag to Zeal.
Thank you very much, Dave. I won't have too many. I mean, if we're going to be here for a little while, if Rapture is going to try and unattune these rings, then I will have some time to collect myself anyway.
Right, before that, though,
Yes?
we do
Rapture's
have to...
good.
Rapture's going to what? What am I going to do?
Rapture is going to have to pry them from Redley's cold hands as she's currently trying to convince him that he can do his job without removing the bling from her hands.
Now, I am conscious that we spent all of last week in a tavern, and we're pushing to an hour in.
Yes.
So I would like to leave the tavern at some point soon.
What?
Well,
But this is Faulty Towers now. This is what we
to
do.
expedite things,
soon as the
Rapture
team-
is going to update Dave in a more expressive manner than Taziel tried to do, and to explain to Dave exactly what happened since Dave was last here.
And as soon as that story finishes and Dave hears of Samiel being in real serious danger, she disguises herself as Samiel.
Now this
We
could be
need a
useful.
plan.
Well, like I said, I think Prison Break is an excellent plan. It'll be just like old times, won't it, Rapture?
It would be, yes, but here's the thing, right? Samiel is not like us. Samiel is a noble. He has standing and grounds in the city. He has reputation. He has
And
family.
beautiful hair.
I don't care about his hair.
I care. It's important.
Wonderful. He has a little more to lose from being a fugitive than either of us did.
Oh yes, but you must, of course, we're not exactly the same as we were then either. And now there is a whole gang of us.
That is true. But I'm not saying any of us. This is not about us in this situation. I have no doubt that we can break him out of there. That's child's play as far as I'm concerned. My worry is the fact that him being a fugitive and running away from this is as good as saying he's guilty, and the Golden Company are going to use that to cement their position.
Well, presuming we can help destroy the Golden Company, that won't matter. What if we did liberate? What if we did liberate Samil, and then our grounds for meeting with Jarlaxle is the trading of a prisoner? Is much better bait if they've lost him once.
Right, but
And we
that
don't
assumes
have to use the real Samil.
that Samil is the thing that they're after here, and not just a ploy to get themselves further.
True, but they'll probably want him back rather than potentially exposing information, locations, or becoming a martyr even.
It all depends on what Samuel knows. Because if he knows things that he can explain to people, how well is he liked? I'm not one to judge on that.
I mean, he has a painting of prophecy in his house. I'd say he knows some pretty decently important stuff, even if he doesn't know any of it.
But what's decently important to us and decently important to the common folk is something very different.
Oh, the common... Oh, yes, but this is more about what Jarlaxle wants.
Right, but what Jarlaxle wants is to control Waterdeep, and to control Waterdeep, he needs to control the common people. We need to take that control away from him. Because it doesn't matter if we save the day if the people don't think the day is there to be saved.
Then
We
what
can
if
save the day.
what if Samuel was to become a martyr, or at least a false Samuel in the eyes of the people?
No, we're not going to kill him.
No, I mean we can kill a fake Samuel.
I can kill a fake Samil right now if you want me to. Not you, Dave. Don't worry. I'm not going to actually kill anyone. That's not my style.
What I'm saying is, it sounds like you want to put on somewhat of a performance.
I don't know. No.
Quick
Perfect.
question for Rapture.
Go
Rapture,
ahead.
if someone was to dimension door into your basement, how many
Yes.
alarms and enchantments and illusions would go off?
What the?
Into our basement.
Yes.
Well, there'd no actual alarms go off. But Glyph of Warding is the only spell the Rapture has that actually deals damage.
Ah, yes.
So, there would be a lot of them layered on top of each other, like a thick stack of pancakes, as well as several hold person spells. So, it would be a very big explosion, and that would be the source of the...
Would the explosion damage the building?
No.
How many explosions are there?
I think I worked it out, given the amount of time that Rapture had been in there, since he would have been able to cast third level spells based on how long it takes just through learning to gain a level. I think I worked out that Rapture could have had at least 17,000 Glyph of Wardings in the Prey Patron in total, if he'd spent all of his third level spells every day. So there's at least a couple of thousand spaced out the entire place.
Because I was downstairs with the ice bucket.
But they only hurt the person that actually stood on the trap.
And in
so-
good news, we know the main staircase isn't trapped. The back staircase, however, is trapped. We found this out last week.
Yeah, and the wine cellar is definitely trapped to anything but rats, because otherwise it'd just be explosions all the time.
Okay. So, when the secret dimension doored into the basement and took back the prisoner, these were the alarms that we said we'd retroactively activate. He would have come back quite damaged, despite his
Oh, okay.
despite his knowledge of magics. And
I mean, he could have cast a shield spell as a reaction, right? That would have helped.
It
yeah,
doesn't help against
Let's-
some-
we can say there's some magicy wagicy stuff going on, but essentially he would have come back damaged, and but the prisoner would have been fine for whatever reason.
It's a bit singed.
As
Okay.
such,
I thought I was
What
gonna
would your
get
house
fucking
have
destroyed.
as such, no one appears from the basement this time round. Instead, you hear a knock on the door.
Samil will go and open the door.
It is the secret. Thank you. I did not wish to come back in via the basement again.
Oh, probably not the best idea that you did that, no.
No. No. He says with a harrowed look.
I mean, he hasn't had time to put them all back up yet. So
Oh, you
No
only
way to
stood.
treat guests, you know.
You only stood in a couple of spaces of them as well. There's plenty more down there.
He walks in and says, so, we spoke about the plans last week. You've heard, I assume, about Samil's capture.
we have.
Yeah.
Have you made progress on your plans to meet with the Jarlaxle?
No. That sort of went out of the window a bit when Samir.
I have.
Oh.
Well,
Tazil has.
I didn't spend my few days just tossing around, I'll have you know.
Neither did I.
Yes, we've got support. No, of course not. You never do. We have support from the Archfeyers, and when we need it, we only have to decide what exactly it is, and he can provide some assistance.
But you...
Whether this is a presence, an offer of power, whether this is some sweetening, whatever pot this is, we're offering Jarlaxle, we just need to let him know.
But you've sent word to him about having a meeting or arranged for a boat to be chartered so that we can meet.
He knew that plan. He was in the basement with us when we made that. Just to remind everyone else in Meta.
So there was some discussion as to, well, given the recent developments, as to whether the boat location might be the best idea. Rapture, I believe you were talking about this last hour.
Last week. You might have to remind me. My memory of last hour has been hazy.
Well, we spoke about arranging chartering a boat so that when we have our rendezvous with Jarlaxle, it would be on the open water, so the number of hench peoples he could bring with him would be limited, and we would in general be a little safer.
The high ground is always good.
Indeed. And
That's
then
real.
you suggested, on the other hand, we could do it somewhere obvious, like the city square, or something like that, so that everyone sees the corruption from within the Golden Company. So those are our two options.
Yes, part of my reason of not wanting to do it on a boat was that I'm not the best in a straight fight, and if you're doing that with the assumption that we're going to fight Jarlaxle or that...
Oh, I don't think it would be a straight fight. I think it would be a rather underhanded and dirty fight, which I know you're decent at.
Right, but if they know I'm there, it's a lot harder for me to weave my illusionary magic.
True. Unless the only thing I can think of is that we would get there first, and we could install you before it begins.
Perhaps. I'm not sure what to do in this situation. Perhaps the secret... nice to meet you, by the way. I don't believe we've met.
Somebody give me some more ice, please.
Very briefly, as we went towards the Feywild.
Oh, that was you, right? Of course, I remember now. It's been a hot minute since then.
Yes, indeed. The pleasure is mine, though.
So, what do you feel about this situation? How do things change now? The fact that the Golden Company has strengthened its grip on Waterdeep, and our friend Samil is...
Time is of the essence. We need to put an end to Jarlaxle's machinations before they take over the whole city. I fear they may already have done.
Right. But
Maybe
at what...
taking him out is the best shot we have.
But at what level have they entrenched in the city? Are they... Do the masked lords know? Has there been any comment from the open lord about this? Or is it simply on a municipal level?
It would seem the Golden Company have all but replaced the watch. When the masked lords meet, they do not even talk about him. I believe he has found a way to discover them and pay them all off.
What's so annoying is I know that Redleaf was told about the corruption of the lords by the granddad, and he hasn't told anyone about it.
Wait, what?
We're told when you were talking to Granddad Samuel about everyone on the council being corrupted and stuff while you were busy harumphing.
I thought I told you guys that when we met up in the basement of Samuel's place.
No, because I made a note of it and I had like my pen ready to tick it when we were told about it.
Well, can I retroactively say something because I would have like Redleaf would have told you guys.
Redleaf, why don't you come upstairs just as the you've been calling for ice, no one's sent you down any more ice, you come up and you just about catch the tail end of that conversation.
Although no, we can't do that. That's a bad idea. They're all corrupted. Anyway, can somebody give me some more ice? And like she's got
wait.
a huge bucket.
Redleaf, it's going to be a while until they wake up. We've got plenty of time to get you ice.
Ice right now.
You're saying that all of the lords are corrupted. The entire city watch is corrupted.
At least from what I know, the old bastard in Samuel's
Do you know how
place.
expensive ice is sometimes?
Sorry, I did not understand that at all.
Rachel said, or rather Tazzy said, do you know how expensive ice is sometimes?
And then froze.
Ironically.
You have a spell that you use constantly to make the food taste better. I'm sure that you can use it to make ice.
Dave hearing the insistence for ice, is gonna scratch her head and remember that it's winter outside, and she's gonna go outside and she's gonna find a handful of really dirty snow and bring that in, because that is the closest thing she can think of to ice in this moment.
It just whichever, but yeah, essentially, whatever. Governmental body there is right now, they've either been corrupted or they're being detained, I'm sure. So we're not going to get help from them.
So, who exactly is left then to oppose this?
Well,
Aside from us.
Oh.
We will be heroes. Or whatever it was
Heroes
you
with
said that I didn't
ice.
write down.
See that? Now that would not pass a food sanitation examination.
Neither would half the
not
fruit be
using
serving
it
here.
for food. I'm going to dump it on their pants.
Not your
I
cooking.
mean, their lack of pants.
Exactly.
That's Charlie. Not it.
Anyway, whose support do we have? Whose support do we have? Well, I mean, there's that old man who worked with Samil.
Right, but
That's his grandfather, I'll have you
So we
know.
got Samil's granddad, we got Redleaf's dad, we've got Fauja's dad. Has anyone else got a dad they'd like to bring in?
not here, no.
Dave's dad! Dave's
Da-
dad!
Dave's
We've got
dad,
Dave's
yeah.
dad.
Right.
How is your dad? Is he still around?
What, my dad?
No, not you. Dave.
Yes.
Oh.
I know your dad's not here. He's dead.
No.
Wow.
Hey, excuse me, we don't know that. He never even met his dad.
Not
We grew up
mine.
with, like, we grew up
The
with two moms,
gnomes
so
were
he
your
literally has no-
mom and dad. Don't even try to play.
We need a plan.
Mother and mother.
Yeah, we had two moms.
Oh,
Him. We need a plan.
We
someone
do
had to
need a
be on
plan.
top.
Yes, we need
That's
a
all I'm
plan,
saying.
and we need it quickly. Look, shush. We need a plan quickly. Right. As it stands right now, there's no one in this city to oppose this.
Until we call in the dad reinforcements.
Classic underdog tale, as far as I'm concerned.
Are we unleashing Dad's army? Is that what this is becoming?
Look, if we oppose Jarlaxle here, right?
Yes.
Every part of Waterdeep currently serves Jarlaxle.
Which is why we removed Jarlaxle.
Essentially, yeah.
Right. But removing Jarlaxle doesn't mean they're going to stop being bad people. It just means they're going to seize the situation for
Well,
their
no,
own.
no, no. If Jarlaxle is the one who's got his fingers in all of these pies.
Right, but if you stick a dirty finger in a pie, even if you take the finger out, there's still some dirt left in the pie.
That's
Well,
why
this
you
analogy doesn't
cut out
work,
that small
because, yeah.
little piece in the pie, and then you just eat the rest of the pie.
But all of the pies got dirt in it.
Well, not
No,
necessarily. because
only that
Jarlaxle-
one spot. And if you're quick enough,
But if the
What am I
lords,
to do with all of you?
if the lords and the city watch are both dirty,
It's not that they're dirty. It's just that they're being paid off. If you get rid of Jarlaxle, they're not paid off
Look,
anymore.
if you
And there's
could
no one to
pay-
do the Golden Company.
I know
rid
this.
of Jarlaxle.
I know this very well. If you pay someone off, they're very dirty. If you can do that, they're very.
Then we fucking kill them too.
That's very unpleasant.
I thought we wanted to try to get Jarlaxle onto our side, because he's a lot better as an ally than dead.
Jarlaxle is a businessman. Except I say that in Redleaf's voice, not Fauja's.
Ugh.
Exactly.
I've never been good at business.
I, on the other hand,
You could talk to him,
I
sign the
could-
deal. And besides, Archfays tend to be roughly around the same power as a demon lord.
That's exactly why I wanted to get him into parlay with us on this.
right. So here's the right. So right. I understand better now. Our purpose is not to get rid of Jarlaxle. Our purpose is to use Jarlaxle to defeat the demon lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
But if we have to get rid of Jarlaxle,
And then what do we not? We don't really care about the rest of it then.
No.
Oh, right. That makes so much more sense. Right. Sorry.
That is a
I-
problem for later, me.
Yes, that's a problem for later. Right now then. In that case then, yes, boat is the best idea.
Okay, so
Boat.
Tezzy
Yes.
and Mr. Secret Man,
Ahmed.
Yes. Ahmed.
I need
How
you. Okay, so you both need to go talk to my dad. I'm not gonna go talk to him because I'll probably yell at him, and see what he'd give Jarlaxle in exchange for his his ser- his service.
Right.
Dave
Yes.
and Rapture, I need you guys to come downstairs with me, see what we can learn from the drow. And then once we do that, we need to contact Jarlaxle in a way that they tell us. And I need you guys to come quick because this ice is starting to melt and my hands are getting super wet and it's gross and it's all numb now because I can't feel my fingers.
Okay, fine, but we need to decide how are we framing this parley with Jarlaxle. Is it going to be? Are you going to be an agent of the Archfey, saying, "I am a missionary. I've come to offer you power. I see you hold great sway over Waterdeep. Therefore, I want a stake in this. Therefore, I will give you something to get something." He's a businessman.
He's smart enough to know that we're, opposing him. I think we need to let him know that, like, hey, this is neutral ground. This business meeting should not be us planning to get the drop on him. We need to make sure that we, in fact avoid that. I think he's
And-
going to respect
But
us
what are,
more.
what are we inviting him to do then? Exactly.
Dave is going to reach into her pockets, even though she's dressed as Samuel, or disguised herself as Samuel, and pull out all of the gold coins she has, which is about 30, I think, in total, and she's just going to throw them in the air so that they jingle all over the ground.
Can your dad
We-
create gold?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Like, that's just a parlor trick for him. But
Also, I have one tiny meta question just before we cement this plan, which I think is solid. Were we given a timeline on Samuel being executed? Is he definitely
Yeah,
being
it's like
executed?
It's
2
Thursday.
days.
We've got 2 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. As long as it's not tonight, I'm fine. Carry on.
There is
Alright.
more. Over the last week or so, it would seem unknown benefactor has been buying up businesses in Waterdeep.
Oh, and that's going to be Jarlaxle again, I presume.
I would presume the same, though I thought I would give the information as I received it.
All right. My question is, right, Jarlaxle is a consummate businessman. Everyone knows this.
Yes.
Why don't we just tell him that please help us defeat this demon lord? Here's some cash or some other resources. You won't like it if he's released out here because he'll probably blow everything up, and you can't make a profit out of a smoldering ruin.
So are we getting Redleaf's dad to masquerade as a demon lord?
no.
Oh.
We
That would have been
need
hilarious.
to ask. We need to ask my father what he can give in return for Jarlaxle turning allegiances.
Right, that's it. Yes.
Yes.
Right. So we're essentially trying to get Jarlaxle to switch his patron.
Yes.
All right.
Wait. So this. Hold on. I feel like I'm missing something again here. Where is this demon lord exactly?
We don't know. That's the thing. We just know he kind of exists.
Well, he's in the
The
picture
desert.
in Samuel's house.
Right.
Or it might be Blue Tongue because like there's all this stuff about Blue Tongue getting out, and the
He's in
Archfey
the
was
he's in the desert.
Yes.
So he's in the desert. But he's also a blue tongue. But he's also in a
Maybe.
painting.
Mm.
Does Jarlaxle know about the demon lord?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably.
At this point,
Probably.
for Rapture's
he
sake,
knows he's in.
I'm gonna
contact
minor
something.
illusion the painting because Dave's already done this before, so she knows exactly what this painting looks like. I'm gonna minor illusion it on a big wall inside this tavern, so Rapture can finally see the painting that we've been describing.
So in the bottom right corner, you can see your party almost enshrined in gold. They look like heroes. There is a large demon pulling strings on Jarlaxle, or a figure that looks like Jarlaxle, and another person.
Do any of us know the other person?
I wouldn't have thought so. It looks like a wizard. Like a
Looks like a-
stereotypical wizard with two Zs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like
I already
disco
confirmed
wizard.
it didn't look like Theo, right? I already confirmed that because that was
Yeah.
my first assumption.
What does it? Could it possibly be a famous wizard?
Maybe starts with an E
Oh,
and
do
ends
you know
with an
what-
R.
Do you know what, Rapture? You weren't there to inspect the painting properly. However, Dave's probably made a very good copy. Why don't you inspect the painting?
I would like to inspect the painting. Would you like me to make an investigation check?
You may make any sort of check you like, and I will give you relevant information.
Bless you.
If it helps the case for this painting being really good, because I'm a Kenku, I'm an expert forger. So I can literally copy details really well.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to. Okay, I want to know specifically about this wizard because that seems like an important thing. And wizards due to the arcane, so I'll make an Arcana check.
Imagine like Rapture points it out, and I'll do like CSI zoom.
Zoom enhance.
Zoom in and enhance.
Okay, so as you zoom in on this wizard with a 22 Arcana check, you can see that this isn't actually a wizard at all. It's a stick man in wizard's clothes.
All right. So it's not actually a wizard. It's a stick man in wizard's clothes. What does that mean? Any of you have any idea what that means?
Maybe he's trying out a new type of scarecrow?
Do any of the other characters in this painting get weird when you zoom and enhance them?
As you zoom in and enhance all the others, they do genuinely look like representations of the person.
Is there
Alright.
anything else about this painting? Because Stuart hasn't really heard a proper description of it either, which would stand out.
Yeah, it's sort of like your stereotypical post-apocalyptic, fires of hell, large fiery demon,
Yeah.
pulling like almost holding like you remember the old Fable artwork
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
had the people on strings. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's got Jarlaxle on the one hand, and you've got your party not on the strings, but it's like he's reaching towards you.
What
Right.
color is his tongue?
His tongue is not shown.
Dang it!
In her best Falja voice, Dave says, I was made in the desert.
Yes. And so, well, this demon was responsible for making the desert, right? Or partly?
No.
No.
But she's gonna go back to the wizard and point at the stick, the man made of sticks. I was made in the desert.
But the wizard is just a stick man. What does that represent? I guess right now it's perhaps something will be revealed later, which helps us ascertain that.
I'm gonna rack my brain for like any sort of tales relating to a stick figure wizard. Like
Yeah.
any sort of like construct.
Yeah, sure. Give me a roll.
Okay, I'm gonna use one of my advantages for this. 13.
On a 13, it's gonna take you a little bit of time, but you can't. You maybe go through the annals of your mind map of different tales. You can't think of anything to do with a stick wizard. Instead, it could be that this is a representative painting of an idea rather than a person.
Oh, he's manipulating magic.
Does
The
it
wizard
know
is a
magic?
The wizard is the traditional.
Look, I don't think you're up to date on the latest news. First of all, he has been buying up lots of businesses. Second of
Right.
all, the wild magic sorcerer wizard is said to be. It's said that the wild magic surges are coming from Neverwinter.
From Neverwinter.
That's just been small headlines. You have to look out for them in the last few days.
That's quite the journey.
That's a fair distance away.
He's been buying up healing magic companies, people who make medicines and band-aids and poultices.
That's not good.
Weapons manufacturers.
Magical weapons, I presume.
You name it.
Is there trying to be sown dissent between Waterdeep and Neverwinter? I've heard it's happened before.
All right. Our mission with Jarlaxle, I think, has changed slightly. The plan can remain the same, but the first thing we're bargaining for before we bargain for his allegiance is information.
All right.
Because we need to know what's going on here. Buying up businesses like that? What it sounds like is that he's not preparing to take over Waterdeep. He's preparing for a war.
You war
And
band.
And we are using the Archfey to offer power and support for this endeavor in return for a little more information on this war itself, what he's up to.
Well,
Tell me, where does the king keep his armies?
up his sleeves.
In his sleeves. Dave imitates a street act that she'd seen before. Also, Charlie's favorite joke for anyone who wonders.
All right.
I think we should ask our friends downstairs if they know anything. Maybe that will be helpful.
That's a good idea. Shall we go wake them up?
Yes.
And then, you know, I
Can't feel my hands anymore.
I very much feel like doing this, having a sleep, and in the morning, let's leave this tavern. As much as I love my home, it does get a bit stuffy in here if we spend too long in here.
That's true.
And
Let's get
Rapture
this
looks
done.
towards the camera again.
It's just like, yeah, I feel it too. We should get out.
Can
Get
I
out.
assume that when we go down to the basement and we go through all the hassle with the assassins, it's basically like interrogating the men of many faces and we're going to get bullshit all from them? Can we just fast forward that scene? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's
I
going to
was
go.
gonna throw ice at them, and they're gonna wake them up. And
Very fun,
Well,
but we've
that is
only
the
got
one
3
poor guy
episodes left in
before.
the season. Next week will be the penultimate episode, so we will skip over it and you will get minor information, nothing of value.
But if they're thinking about it, I have detect thoughts now, so I can just, if we ask them questions, I can listen into what they're thinking instead of what they're saying.
How about we do what I do in Cthulhu and we do the 3-question thing, and then based on roles, you can decide how you answer those questions correct.
Yeah, we can do that, that's fine.
Okay. So we need to come up with 3 questions. The key questions we want to ask these prisoners, real quick.
What does Jarlaxle want? I think that's a good one.
Is he building an army?
Is he building? Yeah. Is he building an army, or or what is he building an army for? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Who
last-
is his main ally? Someone in the city has to be his ally. Jarlaxle can't just walk in and take over like that. It just-
Assuming
Yeah.
these potentially low-ranked drow know the answer to that, a very intimate question.
Well,
it's true.
let's find out next time on. No wait, it's now.
Melody!
Hello.
And do we stab them once we're done?
Let me leave the room first, if you are.
I feel like a straight-up Eldritch Blast is more humane.
It
You say that.
It's pure force.
people, not a puppy.
I really wish I'd taken banishment.
I almost did.
So Red Leaf is gonna wait for y'all to leave the room. Just gonna say, sorry guys, just business. And
Did we ask them the questions first
Yeah, well, let's do the questions first.
Okay,
before you murder them?
so question number 1. Are you happy with what does Jarlaxle want?
Yes, I'm casting detect thoughts,
Okay.
so I know what they're thinking.
Let's go for a rather than what they're thinking. I think you still need to try and get them to think the way you want them to think about the answers you want, especially being unconscious as they are. So why don't we have a persuasion check with a much lower DC thanks to your detect thoughts.
And I
Someone.
can get them up to 1 HP so they're awake with the berries we have.
I can make that. I have a very high persuasion.
I mean, if you want to do one of the rolls with Intimidate, I get the +9 for Intimidate.
That's a valid option.
I'm on, let's see.
We'll
If
do
you
the
get
last one.
frustrated, just tell me and I'll step in.
That's a 15.
On a 15, you get the answer through speech and mind control. Jarlaxle wants to make us all rich. And when they refer to us, they refer to the drow specifically.
The
The
pyramid scheme.
Bregandea.
The pyramid scheme. Okay.
actually supposed to be a small band of them. They're pretty close, from what I hear.
Still a pyramid scheme. It's just a very small pyramid. Okay. And then second question was, is Jarlaxle building an army? Right? Yeah?
The answer is a bit more muddled on this one. Let's have a persuasion or intimidation or whatever you guys want to do.
Let's do another persuasion. bring Tazzy in at the end for the big guns.
Well, she's getting pissed off progressively, so.
Yeah.
On an 18, the answer's not yes and it's not no. He's built enough of a force to be reckoned with in the city, but it wouldn't last long in a campaign. However, there has been warmongering going on.
Okay. All right. And the final question was what?
Was it why is he building the army?
No, it was. What was the last question?
Who is his ally in the city?
That's it. Yeah. Who is his ally in the city? And I imagine that's Tazzy of like bad cop style being like, who is he working with?
Where's the trigger?
Shining the light in them.
Where's Evident?
Red wire on the green wire.
Basically, a few hooks in there.
And I'm going to be liking as Samuel because I disguised myself and I'm not going to drop it.
That's an hour. Why would you waste that time? You mute for us, buddy?
Muted for everyone. Why don't you roll us that intimidation check?
Okay, I'm going to use one of my advantages as well, so.
Perfect.
Okay, so 24.
24. 26, I make it.
Yeah, make it 26.
Oh yeah, I can math. No, maths isn't working today.
That's okay.
It's
That's okay.
scary, guys.
Maths is hard.
It's real scary.
On a
Yeah,
20...
he probably like crackles a bit and gives him a bit of a beat him up a bit.
On a 26, they're all trying to shy away from you. They are genuinely pissing their pants. The demon lord, the demon lord with the blue mouth.
Give me a name.
I imagine right now, like, if they're scared of Tazzy, they're probably imagining the thing they're also most scared of. And trying to decide which is worse.
Yeah. So, Tazzy, you will only get the demon lord. He's got a blue mouth. He's not from around here. Rapture, you will see a figure that looks a lot like the painting, but whenever his tongue leaves his mouth, it is blue, licking his lips.
Wait.
All right.
Blue tongue?
I'm guessing that's so. For now, I think that we have given our guests enough of a fright. Let's leave them for a moment, and then we can give them some time to cool down. Why don't we?
Leaving them here, leaving them in this state, perfectly healthy, alive.
Yes. Yes.
I'll
No,
keep
no.
an eye on them.
No. Redleaf.
Ooh.
We're going to leave them for now for 5 minutes, and then we're going to come and ask them some more questions.
Okay.
Let's everybody leave the room.
I mean, I thought. Y'all got 5 minutes.
And push everyone out.
I don't think I get any more out of them.
Close the door
Fine.
behind us. That's got an arcane lock on still, because lasts indefinitely.
Tell them as much as you have to, but just as much as you have to.
I'm completely confused.
Right, the mind control works. The mind control works through walls. I'm going to give them some time to let their thoughts settle down. And I'm going to probe deeper into them to the point where they may try and resist it, but I can get their deeper thoughts. And then you can go do whatever you want with them.
Dave is actually going to go upstairs because if we've got 3 hostages and people know that they're here, she's going to go and make sure people aren't coming to come and get their friends.
We do still have the arcane lock on, don't we?
Yes, only us.
That doesn't necessarily stop people coming in through windows.
No.
That's fair. So I'm going to wait a bit for them to cool down a bit, Mr. DM, sir.
Yes.
And then I'm going to push in with the detect thoughts. They get a wisdom saving throw against my DC. And if they fail, I learn more deep thoughts.
Certainly. Wisdom saving throw.
I'm so confused. Is Blue Tongue Blue Tongue's an Archfey, not a Demon Lord?
I mean, who better than an archfey to take on a different alias? And perhaps, I mean, it could be the other way around. What if they have been a demon all along and they found the Feywild more to their liking?
Dave, did this demon that you all ran it into, did they have a blue tongue?
17, by the way, is my DC.
When they relax and calm down, they begin to genuinely relax, and you get the prevailing thought, Jarlaxle will save us.
So get insight into their reasoning, emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind, such as something that worries over, loves, or hates.
So they are confident that Jarlaxle will save them because Jarlaxle always saves them. They've been with the Brigadier for decades. What was the next one, sorry?
Emotional state, they're confident.
Yeah, kind of.
And then confident and relaxed, like you said.
Yeah.
Insight into its reasoning, which you gave, and then something which looms large in its mind, which is such as something it worries over, loves, or hates.
Anticipation.
Okay.
Something big's going to go down in the next week. They're looking forward to this big event.
Right.
It's sort of like,
and
it feels like Christmas. That's what it feels like they're leading up to. Like, you're not quite sure what's going to happen, but you know it's going to be good.
All right. So, at that point, the connection fails as my spell ends when I do that, and they know I've been reading their mind. Right.
Okay.
We might have a problem, everyone.
Uh-huh.
They believe that Jarlaxle is going to save them, specifically Jarlaxle, which means he probably knows they're here.
In which case, we need to make sure there's nothing left to save.
Dave's hands ignite with fire.
I understand that there is usually cause for it, but he might be in a better mood if he finds them not dead, and we can use them as...
We no longer need Samael as a bargaining chip. We now have 3 of his closest allies as a bargaining chip.
And since
But
we
you
are...
keep an eye on them close while I go speak to the Archfey, because I swear if they're gone when I get back.
Since we are now all outside, could please Tazzy roll me 2 Wild Magic Surges, Rapture roll me 1 Wild Magic Surge.
What's our number?
614. You did put
That's
Rapture
why he
twice.
wanted us to leave the house.
I did
Oh, we
put-
left the pub.
I thought that's what you said, right?
I assume we're just going back up to the main floor because I've got to go through the portal.
Oh my god, are you guys still in the pub? Do you guys remember the long march when, like, Josh was like, oh my fucking god, they spent a whole season in a pub? That's what I'm feeling like right now.
Look, you made the pub defendable against that magic and everything interesting is in here.
I'm gonna go outside for some air. How's that sound?
I'll go outside to keep an eye out for the wall.
All right.
I'll
Because I
keep an
imagine
eye
the
on the
windows are-
door
I'm
and
not
keep
gonna
an eye
leave
on the...
Because I don't understand why we were talking about the arcane lock if we didn't go outside.
Because there's another arcane
lock on
lock
the door
on
in
the
the
cellar
cellar.
door, yeah.
Ah!
It's okay. I would have gone outside anyway to scout because I imagine I get to the windows and they're all like fogged up as we were discussing, like condensation.
I'm gonna go back into the basement just to keep an eye on them, just so I can see them.
And I will go outside because I just want to keep an eye on Rapture while I can before I head off.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So...
Do you roll those wild magic surges?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out from his review whether he meant to put Rapture twice or whether he meant Red Leaf for some of them.
Just let me know. If so, I'll go outside.
Cool. So it'll be. I think it's 3 for Rapture the way it is at the moment, and 1 for Tazil. It was a spelling mistake, but he stuck with it.
And I now want my stealth roll, so I am the least stealthy kangaroo in the world as I'm disguised as Samuel and just walking around with my feet. Instead of flip-flopping, there's that loud sound of that slight heel that Samuel has on his shoes.
Yep. Actually, you know what? The secret cured that. Like, he spent like 10 minutes with you flip-flopping around his dojo, and he was like curing that shit.
I still not won my stealth, so
True.
maybe I slip on an icy puddle. Just
Okay.
Yeah, Dave-sicle.
Dave-sicle.
Rapture, can you re-roll at least one of those, please?
At least one.
Just one for now. I'm getting to the next one.
Oh, right, okay.
It was swap all stats. We're not doing that in the 3rd episode from the end.
No.
No, because then I would be a useless wizard who can't even cast my magic.
Okay. Do you have a rope?
Not anymore, no, actually. I've used it all up in rope tricks.
Wait, you might have a rope because we had to slightly untie the prisoners, right?
That wasn't my rope. My rope has all been magically used up by rope tricks.
But you could have some rope left over from the whole prisoner tying thing. For
Sure.
the sake of the wild magic surge.
Sure.
Can I get a re-roll from you as well, please, Tazzy? That wild magic search doesn't make any sense.
That's wild. I've rolled that number before. Maybe not.
So nice when wild magic surges aren't happening to you.
Yeah, so, okay, I can work that one out. Where are we doing now? And I wrote drinks, but I wrote it fast, and in my handwriting it kind of looks like it says dicks. Simple pleasures.
Simple minds.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Cool. So as you go outside, you feel this wave of magic wash over you. Nothing seems to happen immediately, but you can feel there has been another surge of magic pulse through the city.
Well,
Nearby, you can hear two street hawkers talking now. They're like, "Yeah, I heard it was to do with Neverwinter, the wild magic surges. They've been sending it, piping it all up somehow through the Samil family. That's what they've been doing."
wait, can I see them? Or can I see the alleyway they're in?
Yeah, you can see them.
All right. I've got a minor illusion to make noise like right next to them and be like, actually, I can do both at once. Just to, like my head appears next to them. Is like, that's not how that works.
And they freak out. Oh, there's a talking head now. Oh, I bet that's to do with Samil as well.
It's really not, I assure you.
That's what-
Dave's just like dusting herself off from stepping in the puddle.
Ava, you alright? Did you like to try to fall there?
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah.
So
So
what
mean-
is your plan?
well, meanwhile,
Prisoner exchange.
Redleaf is like, so. Do you guys just eat mushrooms? I hear that's a thing, right? Undermountain? No?
Oh, the guys down there, yeah, they're
Yeah.
essentially we deliberately expedited the interactions with them because I don't want to waste time with them. Essentially. So if we could just move away from them, I'd very much appreciate it. We've only got 3 episodes. You guys are still in the fucking pub.
So yes, our plan is
Get out of
now
my
a
pub.
prisoner exchange between the 3 dudes we got in the basement, the Samil, and the city, I think. Kind of
Yeah.
good.
That's not a very good deal.
We can sort
But
out
we're
the specifics at
sweetening
the
it
time.
with the Archfey.
Right, so what exactly do you want me to ask the Archfey for? We're asking him for. We're going to exchange the prisoners, and also with a promise of backing and power from an incredibly powerful and influential figure in the Feywild.
Yes.
We're throwing in sweeten the pot. So all we need is him to show up in some form or presence and to lend gravity to what we're promising. Yes, during
Yes.
the parley.
Yes.
All right. And is it worth asking for some how we contact Jarlaxle initially? Is there something we can send that also concretes the fact that yes, we seriously have backing from this powerful entity?
I think
Seal or some other token from the Archmage?
perhaps, yeah, and we have the seal of the Archfey, or perhaps something which is very much known to be from the Feywild. Dave?
Dave is gonna minor illusion one of the prisoners who are naked on the ground in front of her, and she's gonna smack an Archfey symbol, like a giant leaf, on its ass.
Right, but we don't want to give them the prisoners back before the meeting.
What if we
Oh, just one of them.
give the
Oh,
Oh,
pirates.
she's gone again.
Archfey connection.
Oh, I was thinking that we send the brooches. Each of them had a brooch. You send the brooches being like,
Oh, I was going to say like one of their ears or something, but fine.
one of their ears!
We let one go with the brooches.
Right, but then we only have 2 bargaining chips instead of 3.
but he still has one. And we got two.
Why do we have to send back any of the prisoners?
Because it's a show of good faith.
Why don't we just send? Well, we're not. I don't think.
All right, let's send back a prisoner. Let's send back a prisoner with the badges of the other two and a message from us saying,
Meet us here. We want to talk.
yes, please meet us here. We want to talk. We mean you no ill will, as you can see from the fact that your man is still alive despite being a drow in Waterdeep.
Do I have to give him back a ring?
Possibly if
Right,
you want him to get through the city unopposed.
Alright. She's gonna go downstairs and be like, Oi, which one of you wants to go free first?
We can.
We'll do it in the morning. It's late at night right now, if I remember correctly. All right. We have a plan.
And we set up watches for tonight because we have a feeling Jarlaxle could turn up at any time to come and get these prisoners. But if not, first thing in the morning, we are sending prisoner number 1, Naked Bum, with an Archfey note to Jarlaxle via the town square if we have to, because we don't know where he is.
Yes. In whichever
Right, in
manner
that
is
case,
the
then
most
I will go-
humiliating.
Speak to the Archfey.
Oh dear.
And
Oh,
Rachel
dear.
wants to go talk to the Archfey.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
But because of how time works, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So, okay. So we have plans. We need to go see the Archfey. We also want to go and do a bunch of other stuff. I think as we're about to get into, as I hope we're about to get into some of the encounters, we can take a break here and then come back in 10 minutes if we go in 2 sets of 5. Who would like to take a break first?
Me.
Is my connection? Is it better now? Because it seems to just go up and down.
Right now, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
now.
guys.
Well, I've shut down Twitch, so I'm sorry I can't. I'll just won't engage in Twitch chat, which is very sad, but at least have a stable picture.
Yes.
I'm happy to take a really quick break now, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Well, we're going to do it in 2 sets of 5. So as soon as the one
okay.
set get back, the next set will go. So if Dave,
5 minutes.
Dave, Stuart, and Rachel want to go now, then me and Chorus can go when you guys get back.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
sounds good. See you guys in a bit.
Cool. Scrat, can I send you a quick DM on Discord? That's foreboding. That's from Isriver. Yeah, of course you can.
If anybody has any questions in the chat, feel free to let us know.
Yes, please do. And let us know how you're finding the season so far as well, as we are wrapping towards the finale quickly. Or trying to, as I use my cattle prod to herd you all.
Listen. These are important. You can't rush things like this.
You've spent like literally all of last session and half of this session chatting. Like
Listen,
that's like 4.5 hours.
Listen, plans are important. They will probably fall apart, but it's good to have a working frame of things to do. I've always found that it's always a bad idea to just rush into things like, I'll be fine. It's like you always have at least one North Star to look at. So we need to go this way.
Just replying to Isriver.
I'm gonna put on some lip balm. Sure. Team getting some Christmas games. I love seeing everyone be sort of okay what they want to do, even if Scrap wants to get out of the pub. Yeah, it's true. Like if you are interested in playing in some of the games, I think Scrat, you have a couple of spots open still.
I do. I have tons of spots. I think I have probably about 70 spots available. We're running 40 games in 13 days. I'm actually playing in another one as well. So. Tons and tons of games. Mal, I'm surprised I haven't already put you in the. Can I break the pub? Do it. Do it.
No,
Give me that power.
don't.
Give me
Don't.
that power.
Don't you
Do it.
dare! This is our safe space. Our safe
There's no room to have a safe space anymore.
But yeah, if you are interested in getting into a game on Scrackiss's channel, you can join the Discord, and that's where you can find all the info and all the announcement that's brought in. I know that Scrat, even though I'm speaking for him, likes to try to get new people in as well, because that's how I got started with all this. So if you're interested, give it a shot. Well, it's safe speed on the inside, so if it got destroyed outside inwards, would it still be safe? Probably not, because then there wouldn't be an in.
I mean, we can find out, right? Let's not
No,
give away everything.
we can't. God damn it, Scratch. Stop it. You destroy everything that I care about.
Systematically.
My mother says hello, you son of a bitch.
Oh, lovely. Hello, Chorus's mum. We're talking foreboding. Israel's sending me DMs in Discord, so that's that's interesting.
That's not good. He's never DM'd me. Now I'm sad.
Is he?
He's never DM'd me either.
Is he? You're upsetting people left, right, and center today, I would see.
We're special too, damn it.
And Justin asking if he can break the pub, to which I say yes.
No.
Sure. I'm not that attached to it. But I do remember that I need to roll to see if I do a wild magic surge, because I cast Disguise Self.
Oh.
And I didn't roll for that yet. So I'm going to roll for that real quick. And I'm very sad that the secret saw through my disguise.
Like when your apartment/house got destroyed. You know what is River? I'm still salty about that. I don't care if it's fixed now. I spent so much time on that house and it just got blown up in like the second session.
Fragged First says, new to D&D, making my first ever character on D&D Beyond. I'm really enjoying using D&D Beyond at the moment, actually. It's really useful for leveling up and keeping track of things. What sort of character are you making? And for the people still here, what was your first D&D character? If you can remember.
Oh, that's a very topical question, actually, because my very first D&D character is making a return next season.
Ooh.
Yeah, so not in D&D, though. Okay. My first D&D character was a dwarf called Guzgid Iduken. They were from the Iduken family in Dragon Age Origins. It was the first game that I ever... Well, first time I played D&D 5e, I ported that character across into my campaign and never looked back. And next season, massive spoilers on 3 episodes from the finale, we're going to have a Dragon Age stream.
That's really exciting.
So I'm going to bring back my OC.
So Chorus, who was your first D&D character, if you can remember?
Well, I actually started out as a dungeon master, so there's a whole bunch, but a player one was back in 4th edition, back in college. It was a Wilden druid. Kind of painted them as this kind of like male dryad character. And that was super fun because and I do believe I actually stopped playing in that game because the rest of the group at the time threatened to just kill my character off. Because there was this whole thing about one of the factions in town was trying to kill all the trees outside of town. And my character was there to try to stop that. And the group wanted to go with that faction because of loot stuff. And my character was like, I'm sorry, but no. And they're just like, well, we can just kill them.
Wow, classic murder hobos. Go for the loot and throw away all the ethics and morals.
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel? Who was your first D&D character?
I'm going to take my break. Back in 5 minutes.
It was either Shardminder
well,
or
if
Wilden.
my connection is strong enough so I'm understandable, no, I'm not. Can anyone?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't even know if anyone
Can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just.
Oh,
Well,
now she dies.
All right. Cool. So
Ripperoni.
my first character, well, I already. Oh my god, this is fucking ridiculous. No.
Oh, she's here. Oh, wait.
Okay, while Rachel's connection stabilizes, so Fragged First said that they are going to make a Tiefling Rogue combo. They're not sure if that's a good combo, and I think it's actually a really good combo because with a rogue, you get a choice of a lot of skills, and charisma-based skills are really useful for social encounters, and the tiefling as a race gives you a charisma bump. In addition to that, you also get a really cool reaction called Hellish Rebuke, which you get to use, I think it's once per long rest, and it's a big 2d10 fire blast. And having a reaction that isn't part of a class is a really cool thing. Plus, they have a lot of flavor, tieflings. I believe in the book they have an interesting ancestry story, but talk to your DM about what their ancestry is in their world, because there's a lot of homebrew around tiefling lore.
That's
Fun
because
fact about tieflings. Oh, sorry.
I was about to say that's because they completely changed the way that tieflings worked from 4th edition onwards, and I'm still not over it.
Tieflings used to actually be not only like demon-blooded people, but they were actually also like anyone with like monster blood in their heritage.
Yeah,
They had a whole bunch of stuff like Gorgon,
tieflings were fiendish heritage,
Yeah.
half mortal, half fiendish heritage. Well, not half, but they were partially. They were originally introduced in the Planescape, back in 2nd edition, 1987, I believe, somewhere around there. And they were introduced as one of the first playable races in Planescape. But they were actually one of the free playable races you could play as a planar creature in the original Planescape, alongside the GIF, and which were not introduced in Planescape, but were very much expanded upon in Planescape. And the other one was they were called, I could never pronounce them because I was like 11 at the time of Planescape, when I played Planescape. They're called the Barrier or something like that. And they were basically very akin to centaurs, but they have horns and things like that. They were more like a goat centaur rather than a horse centaur. Kinda, but they had 4 legs. And then and that was that. And there was also the introduction of Azimar in 2nd edition as well, which is why they're called Azimar, because in 2nd edition that was during the Satanic Panic in the US. So they changed the name of things. Devils became the Tanari, and demons became the Tanari, and then the devils became the Batizu. And then angels became Azimon, which is why Azimar are called Azimar, and then because they are descended from Azimon, which is what angels became.
There you go. And the other cool thing is recently in 5e they've expanded the tiefling variants, so you get a lot of cool new options for your tiefling. And you also now get access to the Azimar race, which, as Stu said, is the counterpoint, if you like, where it's descended from the planar angel type beings.
Yeah, and if you want to look them up in 5th edition, the Azimar is in Volo's Guide to Monsters, and the expanded tieflings are in Modern Canaan's Turn of Foes, and the expanded tieflings deal with each of the Archdukes of Hell, of the 9 Hells of Bator, which is why it's called the 9 Hells of Bator, because it's home to the Batizu.
So, Rachel, just really quick before we get back into the game, because you did try and answer, who was your first D&D character?
Well, my first D&D character was from a homebrew game that my friend is actually currently, a friend of mine's like writing a original RPG at the moment, and I've kind of been helping him playtest it for a long time, and it uses a D10 system, so it's quite different. But it was like my first, I still called it D&D, even though I don't think he liked it when I called it that. But anyway, I played a Selkie, and she was a hunter, which was a bit more specialized version of a ranger, essentially. And she was really good fun to play, like really stone cold bitch, but she was really fun. And it was playing that game was where I actually met my current partner, and it was hilarious because our characters kind of fell for each other in game before we actually got together.
For people who don't know, what is a Selkie?
A Selkie is a awesome creature from. I mean, it's hard to say where the original folklore is from, but I was kind of going for the Irish folklore version of a Selkie. They are fey creatures which live at sea in the form of seals, and they can come ashore to land, and they peel away their seal skin, and underneath they are very sleek humanoids. And all the tales regarding Selkies and folklore tend to be incredibly tragic. So
they're kind of akin to mermaids and sirens, aren't they?
Yeah, but a bit more tribalistic, and not quite so like I mean, they're meant to be like quite ethereal and stuff, but in a slightly more rugged way, I think, in the way that Irish folklore tends to be sometimes. Because I was really inspired by an amazing film called Song of the Sea, which everyone should watch because it's a beautiful film and makes me cry every time I watch it.
Tune in next time to find out mine and Stuart's first characters and maybe Tahina's, and we'll ask it next break. I will write it down so that we remember that is our question for next break.
Super quick though, I did want to mention for rogue classes, if you don't want to go tiefling, there's always high elf, which is really good for arcane tricksters. There's wood elves, which is good for like scouts and assassin builds. There's lightfoot halflings, variant human, half elves, forest gnomes, not rock gnomes. Eladrin give you a misty step as a bonus action, which is really good. Aarakocra, deep gnomes, and I believe Tabaxi and Bugbear, which actually Bugbear gives you a +5 extra reach, so you actually have a 10-foot space for
And the great thing
weapon
about
attack, which is great.
5e is really there is no wrong pick. You can make up stats as you go in loads of different ways, and your class or your race really doesn't define your character. You get to do that. That's the really good thing about 5e. And there's no reason why you have to be optimized either. You can have a lot of great adventures with characters who have all the wrong stats. It's entirely up to you and how you want to play.
I tend to find the most fun way to play anyway is to pick interesting race class combinations rather than the ones that seem suited. So like the Tiefling Warlock's the obvious. That's kind of why I wanted to do an Aasimar Warlock, and me and Stuart basically was like, yeah, we kind of want to play juxtaposed characters who are also siblings, just because it's a lot more fun.
Just find the character that inspires you and the race lore that speaks to you as something you want to do. And
I mean, it depends on the type of character you're playing as well. For example, on Thursdays, I play a character that is heavily min-maxed. But it's because they've been training all of their life to be the best fighter in the town. It's in Ryutama, so it's extra anime, so that also lends to the fact that it works really well. But in light of that, I built the character to reflect their aspirations, so I did try and min-max them. They've been spending their time working hard, whereas...
That's 100% a valid approach.
Yeah, whereas I'd say that's sort of probably maybe tip of the bell curve. Like 90% of general people sit somewhere in the middle where they've got some specialities, but, you know, like,
it's also worth noting that min-maxing your character isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, definitely not. There is no reason to intentionally weaken your character. There is no reason to not
Just
be good.
don't be a grognard.
You know what? The dice will never be in your favor sometimes.
As a grognard, I'm offended by that.
Listen, okay, so what would you prefer to be called? Wang rods. Don't be a wang rod.
Just don't be a bad person. It's not connected to D&D. It's just being a bad person. Come on.
Anyway, as this conversation digresses, why don't we hop back into it? So, I've made the title of the stream today Jarlaxle. We're meeting Jarlaxle today, so in the next 15 minutes, we'll have some actions, and then we're going to go meet Jarlaxle. So I had some stuff I wanted to do afterwards, but we're running out of time.
This is my pitch for what's about to happen, is Tazzy is going to the Feywild.
Right.
I don't know if someone is going with her, maybe Redleaf, maybe Rapture.
The Secret was going to come with me originally. I don't know if we ever doing that.
And then everyone who remains is going to escort our prisoner token to the town center, whether that's discreetly or openly, so we can drop him off and make sure he gets picked up, and make sure our message is picked up, and then we will wait for the response. Meanwhile, Dave is going to go down to the docks and get us a boat, because we need one. And Samuel was going to get that sorted out for us, so she's maybe going to impersonate Samuel, maybe not. But we're going to go get a boat so that we have a boat.
You'd probably be warned since you're in your Samuel garb right now, right? I imagine one of your party, or at least a secret, might mention that he's wanted all over the city and show you a paper of his execution. Big picture.
Yeah, so she probably won't use Samuel, because also she does know that, so... Yeah, she'll probably just be Dave, and maybe see if any of her flock could give her an in. Because there's got to be fisher birds, right? That could be a thing. So yeah, she'll see if we can get hold of a boat. and then we can probably spend the afternoon decking it out to look appropriately Fey, Archfey worthy. If that is okay with the group.
Yeah, so I'm escorting the prisoners, or is it
If you'd
Red
like
Leaf and
to.
I?
Dave will help as well.
Okay.
So we've got, I
I'm
guess,
starting to worry we might need to live on this boat from now on anyway.
yes, chat.
So it needs to look good.
So yeah, the three of us then will accompany the prisoner, unless Red Leaf wants to go with Tazzy and the secret to see the Archmage.
Okay, so where should we start? Should we start with Tazzy and the secret going to the Archfey and then work our way around?
Yes.
Redleaf, are you sure you don't want to come with?
You muted, by the way, Chorus.
I mean, I can go. But,
It's totally up to you.
She's going to take out a coin. She's going to flip it. All right.
Excellent.
I'm not saying anything.
It's alright,
just
you
be
can
there.
be my backup.
Hmm.
Alright. In that case, I suppose I will try and contact him and then arrange a meeting. I assume we'll just pop through the portal again.
You can make contact. The tree will open up, and you can be sat roughly where Rapture was, having tea. He's set out a small table. It's got chintz chairs, and it's got like the little bone china cups and a teapot. I think Rachel might have frozen again. There you go. Yeah, as it's saying it, fixed it. Welcome back. Welcome back. You asked for a boon.
Rachel, if you have Roll20 open, close it, and I can roll for you.
Yeah, roll 20 is a resource
Yeah.
function.
Yeah.
Oh no. He'll turn to Red Leaf and go, didn't expect to see you too.
Well, I think it's excellent that Redleaf felt able to come along.
Yes, indeed.
Or at least not making eye contact. Just standing there, arms crossed.
Anyway, regarding the current situation, this boon, we need your help to persuade Jarlaxle to take us seriously. This will begin with sending a token of yours along with a prisoner to show him we mean business, and it would then involve you manifesting somehow for our parlay to give weight to what we have to say.
I cannot appear safely on that plane in my weakened state.
Can you send an image of yourself, or...
I can possibly do better. The autumnal leaf would be my symbol. Take any red leaf and place it on the person, and they will be branded with my symbol. He sort of looks over at Red Leaf. I could imbue myself with you, Red Leaf.
I'm sorry, what?
Not sure how this would go with the power up that we did recently, but I could give you some measure of my power, boost your abilities.
Gonna look to Taziel. Why not her? You're her patron.
Yes. But you are my kin. I can make you look like me.
And why would I want to do that?
So that he knows you mean business. Isn't that how you said it, Tazzy?
Indeed. I mean, as kin of the Archfey, who better than to relay his message? And I'll be there as a warlock of his as well. So between us, we should be in a united front.
Give us a moment. And she's gonna pull Taziel to the side and
back
start
and-
whispering.
Sips the tea.
I'll do it if you need me to.
I think all the water deep needs you to. It's not just about me. I think all of the Harpers need you to. I think my brother needs you to.
She'll turn to her father. What are you gonna give him if he turns?
Sorry. What do you mean? Who turns?
Jarlaxle.
If Jarlaxle was to entertain your
Patronage.
indeed. If we were to sway his loyalty away from a demonic origin.
I didn't realize you were proposing I take on another patron.
Hey, I don't like it either.
Not a patron, just something to swing. Just something that'll.
And I believe this is more of a seriously plan to go. It,
You've broken
you
up a
are
bit
cutting out.
too much this time, Rachel. I can't make sense of that one. Can you try again?
No?
I think
What?
we're getting delayed feedback. I'm not sure if that's actually Rachel at the minute, or whether it's just coming through in dribs and drabs.
Yes, Red Leaf will just say. It's just more of a business transaction.
A business transaction.
I don't think he's looking to be beholden to anyone, Father. Besides,
But
I'm sure you still owe me about 20 years worth of allowance. That's it.
I'm not sure why you feel I owe you anything. I raised you, didn't I? Near enough.
You kept me locked up in my rooms. It's hardly raising me.
You were safe.
I was miserable.
You learned a lot.
From tutors that you picked out.
Yes.
I think you owe me a lot more than you think you do.
I think
Is
that's a
that-
rather entitled opinion, Redleaf, and when you've tried being a parent for a little while, you can see what it's like to put all of your efforts into something and have it not appreciated.
You kept me imprisoned for most of my life. Oh,
I heard a whisper, but
sorry, Rachel.
it would seem the internet has come to a grinding halt down in, oh, I can hear you now.
Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm probably just sitting there awkwardly through this because I can't relate to any of this.
Okay.
It's like there are plenty of parents that raise their children without keeping them locked up, deciding who their friends would be, who their teachers are, what they just eat every single day.
Do you realize how much danger you would have been in as my child?
I would have preferred that over being treated like some caged up canary. Besides, I've done quite well for myself. Without you and without your protection.
Well then, it would seem that you don't need me.
She
wasn't-
needs you. And that's enough for me. So I'll come home. You help her, help my friends, help the city, and I'll come home.
Welcome to the Academy. Please take your seats.
I'll be your canary again.
I do not need you to be a canary any longer. I was merely trying to keep you safe. I don't see why you can't see it. You're quite capable now.
Redleaf, do you mind if I speak to you just for a second?
Of course.
Possibly frozen again. It maybe kill the camera again, Rachel, for now. I think the camera, it seemed to work for a little while when the camera was off.
Redleaf, what?
Can hear you
Okay,
now.
I mean, it just, cool. I mean, it died when I turned off the camera, so I don't know whether it just doesn't, like, change or whatever. I'll try and sort it out for next week. I'm so
That's good.
sorry.
It's fine, it's fine.
Redleaf, and I've kind of turned away, so we're slightly removed from the conversation. Who was your mother?
Do I actually know who that was? I don't think she does.
I don't think you do either.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Is all this true? Were you under house arrest for? I mean, you told me you're like over 120 or something.
For about 100 years, I was stuck in my rooms. You know how I change?
Yeah.
Besides the seasons, among elves, it's if an individual can change their gender, their sex, I don't know, like that. is considered a blessing by Corellan themselves,
Mm-hmm.
a blessing from a god, and my dad has used that to keep me locked away for about 100 years. I was special. I was fragile. I needed to be kept safe.
Were people after your family? I mean, I know you obviously are cool,
My-
but some form of royal family now. But
No, not. My father's an archfey. He has his enemies, and he's paranoid.
are you your father's only child? As far as you know, at that
I don't
point.
think so, Scrat.
You are his only child that is not a tree, or some.
My father gets around in multiple forms. I'm sure I have a cousin that was a fox. I think he's unfortunately passed away. They don't exactly have long lifespans.
Then then it seems fairly obvious. I mean, your father was afraid, weren't you? You were frightened. You were frightened that Redleaf would be hurt. I mean, it's perfectly understandable for a parent to make flaws, to mess up when they're afraid.
Not only might they be hurt, they could have been taken and had all sorts of things done to them. There is a great amount of power that resides in Redleaf and potential. I did not only protect him and myself, but the entire Feywild.
But I never got a choice. Maybe I
No,
didn't
you
want the
didn't
power.
get a choice. You don't get to choose if you can destroy the world.
Exactly, and Arch-
We're losing you again.
for turn, but you are indeed the archfey.
Sorry.
Well, you trust each other now.
Oh, Scrat, you were muted.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just saying, why don't we get Rachel? Why don't you go reset your router again, and we'll move over to Rapture and Dave for a moment and pick this back up in a moment because
Yeah, I can see if it'll help. I don't know if it will, but I'll do my best.
Okay. So we'll quickly pan across to Rapture and Rapture's preparations. I believe Dave was going down to the docks. Rapture.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just be getting the prisoner ready for transport. I sound like a prison warden.
I imagine Rapture is also composing the Fey note, just in case Tazzy doesn't get back in time. Like, Rapture's probably writing his own.
Yeah, I'm just explaining. The note contains basically, we have the services of a powerful archfey who I believe would be helpful to your cause, whatever it may be, and we wish to petition you for help and exchanging of prisoners, etc., etc. Basically outlining what we want from Jarlaxle and what we stand to gain from a meeting with him, but more importantly, what he stands to gain from a meeting with us,
And
because
also
that's
the
the
meeting
important.
details.
Yes, meeting on a boat, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay. So the response will come back in a very short amount of time.
Are we taking the
March the prisoner down to town.
yeah, we're giving it to the prisoner and sort of just
Yep.
casting them out.
Okay. That's perfect. And in the next few days, there will be a response come back, inviting you to treaty.
All right. Well, Dave, did you get the boat?
Yes.
Did Dave get the boat?
Yes, indeed. Let's move over to Dave. Dave, where do you go to find the boat?
So Dave is specifically knows that is one person that she can ask about the boat. And I think the conversation about parents and things kind of brought home that she should go and ask favors as well. And she actually goes, the first night or the second night, sorry, we were in Waterdeep, Falja and Dave, they camped in the top of a boatyard building, like a warehouse type thing where you build boats. And that building is actually owned by a member of the flock, a salty seabird. And Dave goes down there in the hopes of seeking said salty seabird. And instead of going up the drain pipe and into the hayloft where you would go if you were kind of seeking sanctuary as a Kenku member of the flock, she's actually going to go down to the main door.
Mm-hmm. And you'll find this old Kenku opens the door. He's got a lot more white around his beak and in his plumage than you remember. He's wearing a thick turtleneck woolen jumper and sort of almost is that like waterproof trousers, not leather but some material,
like oiled.
Yeah, oiled. And he says, "Well, ain't you a sight to see?"
Oi!
Come aboard.
Well met at the high seas. And they will follow the bird into the building, into, I imagine, like some sort of little office space.
And he like holds up the kettle and says, "Why is the rum always gone?"
Because you drinks it, you fool.
Is this fucking... Oh my god. Is this who I think... Oh no, it can't be.
He begins
Maybe-
pouring tea.
I be in need of a boat.
How long's the journey?
Until the high mast.
It's been 10 years since we last saw Davy Jones. I want a boat.
I be in need of a boat. And no weak tub with a hole in it either.
He passes the tea over to you and takes a sip. I got a wee tub. Salmon and mackerel, that's our trade.
Aye, but I need the ship.
He goes to a box and pulls out a picture of his tub. It's a 2-mast ship.
There be sharks in them waters. And anyone passing this office is just hearing like seagull sounds. Just seagull sounds.
You gotta be careful when the seas go quiet. A storm's brewing.
Aye, storms.
He raises an eyebrow questioningly at you.
Aye. Be a tempest. The tides be turning. There be sharks in the waters.
You can't chuck me out. What will I do for a living?
There be treasure for us all beyond the seas. X marks the spot. And she's gonna take a piece of paper from the desk and dip the tips of her feathers into the ink pad and leave a mark, basically signing her pledge that the boat will be returned.
As good as if it were me own daughter.
Aye. But there be no salty wench here. And she's gonna reach in and Of the various gold pieces that she threw around last night, she gathered back up most of them. And there was a bit of a dramatic hunt under tables for them, and she'll pull out the gold piece to hand over.
He pushes it back. We set sail at dawn.
Aye. And what do you do with a drunken sailor?
Put him in a longboat till he's sober.
But not if he's in bed with the captain's daughter.
No. Hang 'em all.
Ay up she rises.
He nods, seeing this as a good conclusion to a conversation. And you have agreed to hire his boat.
You have indeed.
Is that what happened?
The Kenku are a strange and curious lot.
Why don't we go back across to Tazzy, who looks more stable now, and Redleaf. You guys, do you want to just pick up exactly where you were?
Can do. Alright, whatever happened in the past, I assume you both understand, obviously, that Archfey, yes, you made some poor parenting choices, but that's, understandable given your position. But now you trust each other? At least you can trust each other to be who you know you are. And it's true, Ridley, if you are capable of incredible things now, I know, and we all know you can look after yourself now.
And she gets really mad because she's been listening to that, and when her father said, it's like, you don't get to choose when you can blow up the Feywild, she says, I do get to choose. Just because I've got some stupid blessing doesn't mean that you get to decide what I do with it.
That's exactly what it means. That's what guardianship is.
Like hell it is. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have come here.
Look, if you want my help, you can have it, Tazzy. Anytime.
Alright. This wasn't exactly how I pictured this meeting going, I must admit. But I am grateful for your help, and it will, I hope, save a lot of lives in Waterdeep, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm focusing on. The fact that whatever's happening, a huge number of lives could be lost if we don't stop Jarlaxle, and I'm happy to give whatever up to avoid that happening. Because as far as I'm concerned, the people who will suffer most from this are people like myself and Rapture, people like the way we were before we experienced some form of kindness, before we understood what a guardian was for the first time, because at least some people are able to choose to give up that sort of thing. We never had that choice. We were on our own from the start, and we always were. And those are the people I want to help. You don't need to get along for that.
Very noble. One of the reasons I chose you. Always willing to help others.
Maybe. Even if it's not always in a particularly good context. But either way, we're doing something good now, and what we do now it'll mean something, and I want you to be a part of that, Redleaf. I want to help. I know the Harpers meant a lot to you, and I wanted to help with that because we've been friends for years now, and I always felt that I wasn't really sure what you needed, and I wasn't sure what it was that would help you, and I wanted to try. That's why I gave you a place. That's why I wanted you to stay with us at the tavern.
She holds up a hand. It's okay. And she extends her hand out to her father. Says, make it quick.
And grabs your hand, and you burst forth with leaves, and your skin becomes like bark. It's not the biggest change in the world, to be honest, but anyone could tell you are Fey touched. Mechanically, this is just aesthetic. You've just recently had a level up. You can redactively make it part of that if you want, but this will just be a boon for you to entreat with Jarlaxle, hopefully making something easier.
Just gonna look at her hands. Give like a small crunch as the bark kind of moves. How long does this last?
As long as you would like it to.
You never did ask about my eye. Let's go, Tazzy.
All right. Thank you again for your help. And I will take Redleaf's hand, and we'll head back through the portal.
As you turn away with her, you see her kind of bring up her free hand and kind of like touch the scarring a little bit. And then just kind of sighs and walks with you.
Okay. So we will come back to where we all group together. As far as I'm concerned, everything is prepared. You are ready to go and entreat with Jarlaxle, so we can wind forward. Smash cut style. So you guys assembling in the morning on the boat to go and see Jarlaxle.
Avengers assemble!
Dave's father stands at the back of the boat on the rudder. And when you see them together, you can see it's clearly Dave's father. They look so similar. But one looks very old and has much, much less gorgeous eyelashes.
Rapture, I told you we'd get everyone's dads in on this.
So, are you sure that I can't pretend to be a tree on the boat?
I mean, you could. I mean, you can't really speak, though, if you're a tree.
I mean, I got the bark for it.
And I turn to my father to try and explain the conversation that's going on. I say, there be 3 masts, not 2.
But, Rapture, hand me your cloak, your winter cloak. Come on.
I appreciate this. I really do, Redleaf. But right now, I think haste is the order of the day.
We can have haste, but also have some fun. Come on.
Fun can be had once we've saved the city.
Are any of us going to start this hidden? Are we all going to be out in the open when we initiate
No.
parley?
Plain as the day we were born.
Right.
I think hiding things from Jarlaxle will only serve to make things harder.
I agree. I agree.
Is
Remember,
all
he's a
the
sneaky.
is all the stuck below deck?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Then put wind in our sails.
Bring me the horizon.
She seems really good at this.
Which
Do
is
I need to
Kenku
pull on any
Chico.
ropes or anything?
Hi, yeah!
Relief is just gonna like start pulling on rope sails and just be like,
Band them hatches and pull all the ropes.
This is, although it is 2 masts, this
Yeah.
ship has been modified so that it can be run by one person if need be.
Imagine he's got like little pedals, like a little pet.
Yeah, and there's like ropes and wires. It's like a Rube Goldberg Kenku machine.
that's
Um,
impressive.
And you'll be.
I would like to use the spell Gust to push our little sails so we can go a little bit faster.
Perfect. I give you perfect. So as it
And I think that's the cantrip, so I don't have to do it while I'm on the trip.
as we drive towards the ship.
When Gust is pulled out, Gust will go up to the same sail and start blowing on it as well, just like.
And while that's happening, I will have taken Ira from my shoulder where he's been this whole time because he's great. I will have gently popped him down on the deck and just told him to find somewhere nice and cozy to have a rest. And I might.
And I let Falja know that we had to go to work, so Falja's gone to work today. Question: when we see Jarlaxle's ship, what do we see?
This is a large galleon. There are 3 rows of cannons on each side, 4 masts, sails as big as houses.
I look at my dad and I say, "We're going to need a bigger boat."
Something
Have we seen
stirs
these
in the
boats?
water.
And everyone hears, "Caw, caw, caw."
So, do we hail them? Do they hail us?
I minor illusion onto the boat and say, Jarlaxle, this is our boat. Please come aboard.
And I'll send a firebolt up into the sky like a flare.
I think we want to take the longboats out and meet them halfway. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, we were going to have neutral ground. It seems a bit spoiled if it's on one of our ships or his ship.
All right. Do we have longboats? Do we have a thing? Do we have longboats? No, it's
So
just.
we don't have longboats.
Yes.
Alright.
You see 3 figures step off the boat and float gently down towards you.
Right. Well,
Well.
Rapture, as the most magical, I'll just give this to you. You recognize this as a levitate spell being used.
Yeah.
One of the core spells of the drow.
Yep. How the air cross gaps. And what do the 3 of these look like?
2 are in golden armor, but they are distinctly drow behind the helmets. The last wears all.
Do they have a big foppish hat?
They do have a big foppish hat. Oh,
That's
yeah.
Jarlaxle.
Big foppish hat. Bells hang from in areas. Even though he's not walking as such, you can hear his boots jangling in the breeze as the bells are caught ever so gently, but they seem almost too loud for the amount of noise you're hearing. They favour purple with an orange vest and a white tunic. There are many daggers about them and a large feather sticking out of their cap.
Just nervously shuffling my cards right now.
As they come closer, I just want to step forward to close to the edge of the boat and go, Jarlaxle Benair. I'm sure we both know who each other are at this point in time. Your reputation precedes you, and I'm sure you've learnt of who we are. I want to let you know straight away before we get into things that we come into this in neutral ground and have no ill will towards you, and I would expect no ill will in return.
Why, that sounds absolutely amazing, my friend. Now, your letter had some information. Some information that you said would be of use to me, of great interest to me.
Yes, we wish to discuss a business proposition for yourself as well as a prisoner exchange, and to discuss some matters we have found as to the regards of the fate of Waterdeep and its surrounding environs, of which I would assume you would not want anything to happen to, as it is the source of much of your business ventures.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Lots of business to be had in Waterdeep. Lots and lots. Thank you for bringing along my men. Most loyal, those ones. Decades with the company. Decades.
I understand how good it is to find people you can trust.
Indeed.
And I would hope that perhaps one day we can garner that same mirth between the 2 of us.
But indeed, I believe, even though we know who each other are, perhaps we should do our introductions proper. I am, of course, Jarlaxle, and he bows his head, seemingly lowering his defences completely. And you must be Rapture.
That is myself.
Why don't you introduce your friends to me? Hello.
This is, of course, my most esteemed sister, Taziel. She is the blade to my book.
He will go to take your hand, Tazzy,
I give him my hand, which is gloved.
and he will kiss the fingers. A pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine.
We have our most esteemed Kenku friend and daughter of the proprietor of this boat, who is not involved in this, I might add, so please try not to cause any damage to the poor man's ship. Dave the Divine.
Dave the Divine. I've heard of you, of course. Who hasn't heard of you in the city? The Kenku that can fly.
Like a phoenix rising.
Like a phoenix rising. That's beautiful, that is, isn't it? That is beautiful.
And I turn to my father and say, "It be a parlay."
Is the secret with us?
That is up to you. You can redactively decide now. Do you bring the
is the
secret?
secret not guarding our 2 prisoners?
That's true.
Below deck?
Yeah, okay. Then they are with us. I will say there is, and this here is Redleaf, our good friend, wondrous rogue, and of course, emissary of the Archfey, part of the reasons for us meeting you.
You can refer to me as Lady Barkskin of this and that. She'll kind of bow, and it'll be like a crunch of bark, like.
Very formal. Do apologise for my informality, Lord Benair.
Your reputation precedes you.
I must make you aware that your 2 prisoners are below deck alongside another member of our group known as the Secret. I do not wish to allude to any secrets between us, although his name, I understand, is the Secret. As well as that, there is another member of our group who could not join us today, but I feel the need to make you aware of them as well. Forge of Flamemane, the daughter of the desert. Perhaps you have seen her as the phoenix flying around recently.
The firebird flying through the sky, the Red Death they call it. I don't know, spin doctors, eh?
Indeed. So
do we have a table or somewhere we can entreat? Why don't we get down to it?
I will create a table. I can do that now. Make a table. There's a table. There's enough chairs for us all to sit in. It is ostensibly a round table.
Is it made from a barrel?
No, it's creation, not fabricate. I can make it out of nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll take a seat next to Rapture.
You'll take a
I'm
seat.
going to not sit at the table, but I'm gonna like kind of monkey about the kind of ship's
The rigging?
yeah, and just kind of like do an odd sort of roguish grip onto the rope to where I'm hanging upside down by my legs.
Dave will sit next to Jarlaxle, and she'll pull out little bugger and just be stroking him.
I will make a point to sit down after Jarlaxle, in a position directly opposite from him.
And he'll coo at the little bugger. Oh, lovely. Right
Who's
now,
your friends?
now that all the pleasantries are done with, why don't we get right down to business? I'm a businessman. Time is money.
Of course.
What do you want?
Are you aware that there is a prophecy right now amongst this city, as is known in the Sword Coast, as many of these things abound, for a demon lord who is currently puppeteering you without your will?
I'm
using
not
its own-
aware of any prophecy, no.
It is written.
It is. In the house of the person you're currently keeping under arrest and the person we wish is part of this exchange to get out of that arrest, Samael, there is a painting which depicts a demon lord and your likeness there. It's a very old painting, and including our likenesses as well.
You know, the thing about prophecies is they're often a lot more than they're often not much more worth the paper they're written on. You know, before I left Menza Baranzan, I was prophesied to be executed for one thing or another and all sorts of other things. I say you make your own fate.
And we are agreed on that part. But I still feel it would be remiss if it was to not bring it to your attention, especially since the figure imposed in this prophecy, this demon lord, as it were, has some prior givings with members of our group.
Fighting demons is hungry work, tiring business.
Moreover, said painting has been authenticated as over 1,000 years old, I believe. Do we wish to reproduce the forgery to show?
Onto one of the nearby sails of minor illusion, the painting. I think I'll adapt the wizard to look like an actual wizard, because we noticed that was some strange secret in it, so she'll just make it look like Theodopoulos or whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm. He looks at it. Alright, I appreciate the information, and I'd like a copy of that as part of our treatment.
If you would have someone as to be able to replicate it, magically or otherwise, we would be fine with that. But that's, as of this, is the only copy of it that we currently possess.
I'll zoom in and enhance, and I'll correct his hat a tiny bit.
Oh, you can correct it. Okay.
If you would like, we can tell you the location of the original painting, as I am sure, given your powerful statue within the city, you would be able to get access to it very easily.
All right. I don't think we've got to what you want yet, though.
Well, we would want... the first thing would be the release and striking of criminal charges and misgivings towards the name of Samael and his family. And the second would be your aid. If this prophecy does come to pass and the demon lord is around, we would seek to cut the strings which would use you against your own whims, something I'm aware you're not happy about.
I want you to be a turncoat.
As it were, yes.
And in so doing, perhaps save you from a painful fate.
You see, the nice thing about being a puppet, especially a puppet with free will, is that so long as you act in a certain manner, no one knows whether the strings have been cut or not. As it happens, my relationship with this demon, as you so describe him, is very mutually beneficial.
If you step too close to the fire and you are not immune, you will be burned.
He puts a hand on your wing and says, "Oh, believe me, dear Dave, I know all about getting burnt."
You would also know, as I'm sure you're aware due to your givings, your people's givings, that demons aren't exactly known for trust. Beings of pure chaos, they aren't exactly all about keeping things on the straight and narrow, are they? If you were going to do a deal with anything, better the devil than the demon.
Thing is, I've always liked chaos.
Have you
Chaos
now?
brings profit.
So does order, depending on who is the one creating said order.
But then if you are so enamored with chaos, I know little that can be more chaotic than, naturally, the Fae, which is why we also bring a little more to sweeten this exchange, this deal.
We also tend to not blow up valuable things once we're done with our plans.
So what are you offering me?
Power, boons from
Influence.
an equally powerful, if not more powerful, patron in exchange for your help.
Patron. That sounds like just swapping one puppet for another.
In this instance, the Archfey being your patron would be more as more tending towards you being their patron in some ways. You'd be able to ask of them things and they would give them to you.
Silent partner, investor.
An investor.
Yes.
Yes.
Benefactor.
A benefactor, an investor, someone to grant you what you need, not necessarily to ask you to do things. Patron is just a simple term. Think of it as a more Renaissance patron rather than clad in iron patron.
I'll tell you what I'll do. It seems you're not in possession of all the facts. I'll tell you what I am intending to do over the next few weeks. I'll be blatantly honest with you. You can go tell people in the street, they won't believe you. But I'll tell you the truth. And with that information, you can go away and think about joining me. I can always use people who are willing to take initiative. People who are willing to step out and act on their own in Bregandier. Not just limited to drow, as people believe. First of all, I intend to execute Samir.
Nope.
Hold on. Let me hear my reasoning. First of all, he was found burgling from one of the nobles' estates. Eyewitness, matching descriptions, didn't know each other too well, so he was guilty of something. And I intend to use him as an example. He's also a harper. I've been stripping them down over the last few weeks. I don't need secret organisations the same way I don't need anything else. I think the whole setup here in Waterdeep with the masked lords and the harpers and everyone acting behind closed doors is just not beneficial to anyone, certainly not an honest businessman like myself. I've also been infiltrating these masked lords. Pretty much all on the pay at the minute. Ignoring things here, doing other things there. They're corrupt. All of them. All they care about is money. Every single one. So I intend to dethrone them all. The wild magic surges that have been happening recently. Smoke and mirrors. There's all been gifts from the Feywild from my demon lord friend, Blue Tongue. Turns out he's a prankster. Loves chaos. And I'm using him and his chaos to incite all sorts of conflict around the city. Getting people all riled up. They're all getting ready now. They're all fed up. None of them trust the guards. That's where my Golden Company come in. And the Golden Company will begin conscriptions and voluntary assignments to an armed force soon to go and attack Neverwinter. Now, I hope I don't need to tell you how profitable war is. Weapons manufacturer, medicines manufacturer. Not only that, war is the best way to increase technology. We can expect our people to come up with all sorts of new things whilst they're at war. It'll be brilliant for the economy. It'll be brilliant for the people in the long term. Those are my plans. War, profit, chaos.
I didn't take you from your reputation to be a warmonger.
Oh no, I'm not a warmongerer. I'm a war profiteer.
And it's at this point that Redleaf just kind of inwardly thinks, just like, Dad, you gave me this bark skin. It would be good for you to show up now.
Well, it seems you've given us a lot of information. And you're right, if we did tell someone on the street, they wouldn't believe us.
They'd say that you are a conspirationalist.
That's not the word, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Perhaps it doesn't translate well from Undertale.
I'd imagine not, no.
I would like to insight Jarlaxle in his physicality to see if, as he's moving and posturing, if he betrays any weaknesses. Some insight to something that he is defensively doing with his body. Just watching him real close. 25.
Ooh. So on a 25, I will tell you he is showing signs of 100% honesty. He is
Fully in belief of everything he's
oh
saying.
yeah, fully in belief. Like he doesn't like his motives seem correct and everything. His hand, his fingers are tapping every now and again. sort of like the itchy finger, the trigger finger. He's not tense, but he's ready to be. And his
All right.
eyes stray over to Tazzy every now and again.
I have a question real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the Archfey gave me bark skin.
Mhm.
Do I know how to use it?
No, this is just... He gave you just
Appearance.
the appearance. So this is... He gave you the appearance to be able to act as though you have his powers, but mechanically, unless you've got something from your level up,
Okay. So I can do smoke and mirror stuff, but
yeah.
All right.
it's
Jarlaxle.
like
I will give you something that you probably will want. The people are scared of the magic. Whether or not that is something that they need to be scared of or not is not for them to realize. You have set it up that they are scared of it. You have crimes that Samael has committed, which you are using to put him out there, and as an example.
Yes,
Now,
indeed.
Samael is a member of the Harpers, but the Harpers are, for better or worse, somewhat well known as far as a secret society can be as proprietors of peace.
Oh, yes.
I
I think
would-
I've done rather well, really, in stripping that back to make them look like traitors, don't you think?
Pretty good, but perhaps not enough. Opinion cannot change that quickly on a level that people aren't talking about. I would give you something better. All right?
I'm listening.
The person who perpetrated the crime at the noble's house was not Samael. It was myself, and I used memory-altering magic to make it seem as if the other person was. This, here, and I produced the brooch, was what was stolen. I am a wizard. I am a proprietor of magic. I am a powerful user of it. I can display this as such at any time. My proposition to you is that you release Samael, stating that it was a case of mistaken identity, and Samael has agreed to full cooperation with the Golden Company for revealing the dastardly figure that has been working to undermine him and the Harpers for many years.
Oh, yes, that'd be
been-
very believable. That'd be very
has-
believable. Keep talking,
And
you're
it's been
singing.
found that Samael had been visiting a tavern, and one of the owners of said tavern, unbeknownst to the other owner, had been working to do such a thing.
Where
And
are you going
instead
with
of
this,
Samael,
Rapture?
Rapture. This isn't
You
exactly
take myself.
What?
What's your end game here?
My end game is the fact that Samael is worth more than I. He has worked hard in his life to make good. I have not. All I have done is steal, own a business, put on some performances. I believe his is worth more than mine. That is simply it, and I promise you nothing else. I came to this and I said I would be open and honest with you, and I leave this being the same. It's not for me to keep secrets from someone I know deals in them.
Very fair. Very fair.
Rapture, that's just not true. What are you talking about? You've worked harder than
He's gonna
anyone.
push a feathery finger up to Tazzy's mouth to hush her.
I tried very hard not to bite her feathery finger off.
Rapture.
Jarlaxle.
Yes. Sweetie.
She
Sorry.
gives a smile.
Lady Barkskin.
He seemed to be entranced by my lady friend here. Any reason?
His eyes turn towards Tazzy. Tazzy, I don't know if you'd notice at the moment looking at your brother the way you are. But he's got a striking figure, a handsome face, and it is currently struck by lust.
Oh,
But he gives you a smile in the sort of the charming lust, not
so I have a question for you, Jarlaxle.
Please.
What exactly has your puppet master given you in terms of power? He's given you men, he's given you the city.
Oh, but the thing is, he didn't really need to give me much. See, men, cities. As I've proven many times, you can buy and sell them. What he's given me is a staging ground. The wild magic surges. Oh, what a twist.
And you think so highly of his magic, do you? Because I've got a little information we can give you. You see, we've already broken apart one of his magical constructions, and quite frankly, I'm more than happy to do it again. In fact, I would like nothing more.
Well, now this does bring me back to where we started very nicely. Rapture, I love your offer. I love it. I want you. It'd be great. You can come and be part of my men. Lying, stealing, trying to run businesses. That sounds like exactly the sort of qualifications you need.
Oh no. I'm going to be your example.
Yeah, I think we can work that out. Have you ever faked to death before?
You wish me to fake my death?
Yeah, you must know, what was that one that person always used to know? I can't remember what the name of the spell was. They used to play dead, like a puppy.
Houdini.
Looks
I
like you
would
don't
say
get to be a
that
martyr.
there's no better way to get rid of someone who, if left unchecked, would come after you than to do it for real. Give the people what they want.
You'd
You want
come
to skip?
after me. Rapture, I'm hurt.
As I said, I want to be nothing but forward with you.
I thought we were getting on so well.
Perhaps we need to take a recess for a little bit.
It's all right, Redleaf. Redleaf. Just let me handle this one. I promise you, it'll be all right.
Rapture, at least let me come with you.
It'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
what?
My offer is simple. 1 for 1. Samael for me. Put a devil at the top of a podium and show them to be what they are.
Alright. I like it, let's do it. You come back to the ship with me. Taziel.
Yes.
If you'd like to join me for dinner this evening, you'd be more than welcome. I put on a 5-star show.
If I can make sure my brother remains unharmed, I'd be more than happy to.
Oh, of course. Not a harm will come to his head until Thursday.
And I also wish to be there on Thursday. Yes?
Well, you can stay by my side at all times if you wish.
Food and ale, please.
I apologize since it seems our conversations are wrapping up. Perhaps you would like to speak to this Archfey. See if you can come up with a deal on that end. I am his envoy. I am, of course, here to intercede.
I must say, Lady Boxbin, you've been awfully quiet. What is it that this Archfey can offer me? This shadow director business. I've always been more hands-on.
Okay, so scrap. Just so I know, so I'm not making like stuff up. I can project images and pretend to do magics, like illusions and stuff.
No, this is purely aesthetic. You just look like someone straight from the Feywild, and he believes that you are straight out of the Feywild.
You are there a diplomatic sense rather than a power sense.
Okay.
But you are sat with at least 2 people who can do illusion magic,
Yeah.
if not 3.
Yeah, but I
Because we
don't
rushed
think
to
he's.
this as well.
I-
If you want to have prearranged something, I'll let you do that.
It's just like What is my father willing to give Jarlaxle in exchange for him being a turncoat? What do I know of that, if anything?
He didn't really promise you anything. Tazzy said that she wanted to be able to make a show of power, and he gave you that so that you could show you have his saying. Really, you could promise anything and sort it out with him afterwards.
No, Jarlaxle, I understand that war is profitable, and my liege would, of course, understand that entirely. But there's also quite a lot that you could earn in peace. I mean, let's frame it like this. You seem to be a man who's very much interested in hands-on experience, and if I may be so bold, it seems that you are a little bit tired of being in the shadows all the time. I think you deserve.
He looks at his outfit and goes, I make no play of hiding in the shadows.
No,
People do
but
business with me all over the Sword Coast.
Yes, but I think you want something more. I think you deserve to be adored by the populace, by all of Faerun.
Am I not already adorable, lady? He says and puts a hand on his chin.
Very adorable. But that's neither here or there. Attractiveness does not come into the deal, at least unless we just talk about personal things. But this is strictly business, and my liege can offer you power drawn from him himself. Nothing of the way of men and promise deals. He can give you real power, magics that most mortals can only dream of, and you can use that magics to bring not only Waterdeep and Neverwinter under your sway, but you can do so in a way that there's no bloodshed, and that you can, of course, be welcomed and adored by the populace with open arms. They would consider you a savior, a king, an emperor, worthy of respect. And not only that, I can give you a Fey court of your own, the Rose Court. There is much that the Feywald's healers know of magics and health and curses. Just imagine what you could do with that kind of resource. Imagine the money that could be made from the people that drag themselves clear across the continent to be healed. Imagine all the wealth and all the power and all the prestige. They would give you mounds of gold, and they would praise your name all the while. With war, there would still be grumblings about you being a warmonger. The people would trust you, but they wouldn't.
Oh, but that's the beauty you see about having a puppet master. Once you cut them strings, no one suspects you were ever, like, acting of your own free will. However, I am interested. Make no mistake, I am interested in magic. Suddenly he changes from, like, the head downwards and looks very much like Redleaf does at the moment.
Jarlaxle, you speak of cutting strings. Now tell me, do you have nefarious plans for your current benefactor? Sounds like you almost wish to relinquish yourself of their influence.
The good thing about chaos is that it provides opportunities for profit. The bad thing about chaos is that sometimes people think they're as powerful as you, and sometimes you need to give them a harsh lesson. That's all I'll say of the matter.
And regarding hands-on experience, well, you've heard my friends' comments. You've heard of the promises of the power that can be afforded by our Archfey patron. Now, I am the Archfey's warlock, and if you need hands-on experience, I think I can supply.
Well, let's just say I'm very interested in this. hands-on experience that you're offering me.
It might be that we can help you unravel this
Welcome to the Academy. Please take your
this
seat.
tangled web a little faster.
And not only that, but can you imagine it if you did decide that your current benefactor is lacking? Imagine the tale that could be told by Jarlaxle himself. A shadowy figure brought to light, not a criminal as one would have of your reputation, but a hero that slays a demon.
Now,
I want to cast Disguise Self, and I'm going to disguise myself as Jarlaxle. Only I want to put on my head the crown that Fauja has.
Think of the stories that would be told. How many glasses would be raised in your name across Faerun?
And more importantly, think of the gold that could be made from such a personality. Think of the interest that you might have.
oh yeah,
There would be, and of course, the nations would be of Faerun would be a lot more amenable to diplomatic venues when treating with such a hero, such a dashing figure.
oh yes. Yes, I can see that lovely. When I look, I'm very interested in all the things you've got to offer. Unfortunately, I have got to rush off to another meeting. Midday, I am going to acquire a hospital. Now, my proposition as it is at the moment is I will swap your friend Rapture here with Samil and release Samil. And we will have dinner later on, Tazzy. That'd be nice, and we can talk more about this offer with the Fae patron, Lady Barkskin. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I'm interested, especially in your promises of having my own Fae court, the Rose Court, and having people travel for miles to come and see it. That sounds lovely. That does. That sounds lovely.
When I talked about all those kinds of things about him being a hero and like being adored and all that stuff, does he seem hungry for that? Or is he just trying to put on a show?
He did not. His eyebrows raised at the mention of people paying him large sums of gold, but at the sound of him being a hero, you could see it had benefits.
Okay.
Well, it seems that our dealings are done here.
Indeed.
Would you pray spare me a moment to speak with my sister privately before we continue with our arrangement, Jarlaxle?
Oh, Rapture, I trust you completely. I'll be on my boat waiting.
Not a
Pleasure
problem,
to
I
meet
will-
you all. Sorry the dealings didn't go as smoothly as you might have hoped, I guess. Some of you seem slightly disgruntled. Dave, pleasure to meet you. Takes a wing, kisses it.
And she turns back.
Lady Barkskin, I look forward to entreating with you further. He gives another bow. Tazzy, I very much look forward to dinner this evening.
As do I. I'm sure it will be delicious.
And Rapture, I'll see you in just one moment.
Yes, you will.
Alright, come on in, boys.
As soon as he's off the boat, Dave begins repeating every word that he said in perfect Jarlaxle.
If you would all give me a moment, please, I wish to speak with my sister. And before you say anything, don't.
You're fucking idiot.
I'll go downstairs. I'll go below deck.
Yeah, Dave will go and sit with her dad.
I follow quickly after Rapture.
Relief makes a show of trying to cough, but it's clear that she's like, what the fuck was that?
All right.
Rapture, what are you doing?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Right. I hand you the 8 coins and my spell book. I'm going to need these back.
Of course.
But right now, I need you to keep them safe so they don't get destroyed.
Just tell me, you have a plan, right?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
And it doesn't involve getting executed on Thursday.
I have a plan.
Right.
All right, I have a
I
plan.
just hope you can tell me what it is.
I can.
I'm all ears.
You.
Right. Elaborate, please.
Because you are the better of the two of us, and you're going to fix this. It was never me.
What?
Your nature demands that you fix this. You always will, and you always will. If I was not here, you would still be fixing this.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be in a ditch somewhere. I'd be dead.
Now, we both know that that isn't true, but just listen to me for a moment, all right? I'll see you on Thursday. We're going to have a wonderful time taking down a demon lord together.
If he hurts you, I will kill him.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
That's
Right?
I'm gonna be there this evening. I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna make sure they don't hurt you.
Trust me, I will be fine.
I do trust you.
I've taught my way out of similar situations before, but just listen to me, okay? Keep that hot mouth closed for a second. All
It
right.
feels wrong when you say it like that.
I'm going to be there on Thursday. You're going to be there. You're all going to be there. We're going to stop what Jarlaxle's doing to Waterdeep. All right? We're going to take down this demon lord Blue Tongue or whoever it is. We're going to save Fauja's mother and all of that and more. I know it's going to happen. I did this because I believe in myself and I believe in all of you to get us out of this. I believe in Waterdeep as being a city that, while it is a terrible place, it's full of people who will stand up to things like this. It's home to us, and we're trying to stand up. All right? Have some hope, because if we have naught else, we can have that.
I trust you. I trust you. I do. I trust you more than I trust myself. I don't know what I'll do if something happens to you. That's the one thing I can't trust.
If, and this is a big if something happens, it will just mean the unshackling of the shadow from your light.
No, you don't understand.
I'll see you on Thursday. You can tell me then.
It's the one thing you're wrong about, you know? It's you. You were always the light one. You are the good one. I hurt people. I've killed people. You never did that. You never wanted to. You talked me out. You've talked me out of it so many times. And if I lose that, then I'll just be as bad as Jarlaxle.
You can't lose that. It's part of you.
You're part of me.
As much as we would like to believe that, that's not true. We made ourselves, we made each other, but we are not each other. And I believe in you so much. Without me, you'd probably be out slaying dragons and saving the world instead of having to look after a bumbling mummer who only wishes to make a bit of coin to buy his next spellbook.
But I would be all the weaker for it. Trust me on that. I trust you now. Just please trust me.
Of course. Every day.
Right.
Now. Best not keep Jarlaxle waiting.
No. I will see you this evening.
I'm sure you will.
I'll do whatever I need to do.
I know you will. But remember, there are so many things that we can change. We can't change who our parents are. And I'll leave below deck. And I will make my way over to Jarlaxle's boat.
Relief stands in the doorway, just looking up at you. Because even though you're like a few steps down, she's still shorter than you, and so she's having to look up.
Yeah. It's not the time for games, Red Leaf. What is it? What?
She slaps you across the face.
Farewell to you as well.
And you see her, like, her face, like, go from this kind of stern look into this kind of breaking, almost about to sob look. And
No.
she hugs you.
Crying is for sad times, not for the beginnings of a
I'm-
plot to kill a crime lord.
I'm not crying. I'm frustrated because you are clearly under the effects of some kind of martyr savior complex, and I will have you know that will not be happening on my watch. You will not be dying on my watch, and if you do, I will go down to whatever afterlife you end up in, whether it be Elysium, or if you end up in the last circle of the 9 hells, I will drag your ass back here, and will be fine.
You finished. Good, then I'll see you on Thursday, and I'll push past them.
Dave is going to use a sorcery point to do a distance spell, and she's going to cast Mage Armor on Rapture. And then she's going to turn to her dad and say, "There will be a mutiny afoot." And just sit and just let Rapture go about his business.
It's been a pleasure to meet you, Dave.
Yes.
I'll see you and Faja on Thursday. Do give my regards to her.
We're a weird tent, okay?
That we are. I'll see you all later. Have a good time. Fight some demon lords for me.
Dave's father fluffs his feathers for a moment. There's a storm coming. You and your friends better batten down the hatches. Because when it hits, you're all going to wonder how you ever thought you could live so large. And leave so little for the rest of us.
That there is.
Aye, but we'll make it to port.
And that's where we will wrap this week's session. Sorry we overran a little bit, everyone. It took us ages to actually meet Jarlaxle.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I
My
just
fault,
had to
I'm sorry.
literally pry bar you guys out of that damn pub. I need to stop
It's
putting
such a good
pubs in
pub,
campaign.
okay?
Chat, I will destroy the pub next time. Thank you for the donation.
what?
That will happen. Now, Stuart is going to be back for the finale in 2 weeks. Next week is the penultimate episode where I believe everyone else will be here.
Charlie will be sleepy.
Charlie will be sleepy.
Charlie lands in the UK at 10 a.m. that day. So.
It might be a bit like Lauren yesterday. Lauren joined us after 14 hours of flying, bless her. Yeah. Very much appreciated though, Charlie, and as always, health first. Make sure you're okay to do it, but also come along. Right, so let's do a quick wrap today. Let's go around. Let's just get your favorite part, a quick thing of where you guys are, and we'll wrap there. Why don't we start where we finished last time with Rachel? I think we went down that way, didn't we?
Yeah, I was probably last because my internet is a complete nightmare right now. And again, I am so sorry to everyone about that. I'm going to do everything I can to try and fix that for next week. Anyway, yes, I am Rachel. You can find me at Kalanir on Twitter. And honestly, I had so many favorite bits of this episode. I love all of the emotional kind of girding up for the kind of the penultimate and ultimate episodes. So much fun. I just love when we got to the parlay, just the parlay was just great fun. Trying not to snap also, it was difficult. So that was amazing. And yeah, so I am also to be found on Mondays at 7 p.m. UK time on my channel Blood on the Thames, where we play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. We just started our 2nd season, so now's a great place to hop in, and we'd love to get more people on board with that. I also do a lot of D&D and just general tabletop role-playing game artwork. I usually post all that to my Twitter. I have quite a lot of commissions to work through at the moment, so I'm so grateful for everyone who's pitched in for those. That's wonderful. It's going to help me through the Christmas season so much, especially since I've had to replace my laptop, which finally died after 7 years. I also make D&D themed jewelry as well, which whilst I've been fairly quiet on at the moment, there's a possibility I might be going to Bristol Anime Gaming Con, in which I will be bringing so much with me. We will see. Anyway, again, thank you so much for bearing with, and I enjoyed today's session so much, even with the internet frustrations, so thank you all so much.
And thank you. I'm very much looking forward to you and Jarlaxle's dinner next session. That'd be great.
So am I.
Next, we have Stuart. Stuart, who will be returning for the finale. Stuart, how was that for you?
That was good. I enjoyed that. My favorite bit was the conversation between Dave and Dave's dad, which I'm still not quite sure exactly what happened there, but it was hilarious. So, yeah. But you can find me on Twitter at I am Hidama, and you can also find me tomorrow night. I will be on Susanna Grace's channel. That's twitch.tv/Susanna Grace, where you can see me playing an altogether somehow more smarmy character in playing my paladin, my elven paladin, Davalan, in Curse of Strahd. And you can also catch me DMing on Susie's channel as well on Mondays, where I am the DM of Courion and Adventurer's Tale. And if you want to catch that, it is great fun. We had a couple of weeks off where we had people being ill, but we'll be back next week where the party are in an arena, so that should be fun. But aside from that, that's me. You should also catch me doing 3D art on Twitter.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Awesome. Next, we have Chorus. Oh, hi, Chorus.
Nice. I think my favorite part was probably the whole negotiation thing. It's the first game I've ever had where I've actually met a canon NPC, so it's interesting because I think Jarlaxle is probably one of the funnest villains / anti-heroes you can get in this game, and just meeting with him was super fun. But you can find me when I'm not on Wizards and Wardrobes. I am on the Soulbear RPG channel, where I run on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time a homebrew game that I call the Shattered Eye, which is kind of a low magic sword and sorcery game based on kind of an ancient Roman mythos thing. And right now, the group is currently found that one of their party members has been cursed. One of them has only 1 HP, and they're being attacked by unseelie fairies and sprites. So that's always fun. And not only that, but later in December, you can catch me on Grimjack's channel for the Dungeon of the Mad Mage game that he's going to be running, where I'm going to be playing Sir Gorbrin Moonstar, Knight of Laurel's Silverhand, Open Lord of Waterdeep, and Chosen of Mistra.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much. Last but most certainly not least, we have Charlie. Oh, hi.
Hello, it's me. My favorite bits today. I really enjoyed that once more we had no idea what to do with prisoners. That we get them and then we don't really know what to do with them. I really enjoyed I think going through the process of planning is always hard no matter what your D&D group is. No matter how well you get along, no matter how well you know the story and what's going on, it's always a complicated process. But I really enjoyed going through it today and figuring out what our final plan is and what really is important to us as a group. And then, of course, setting sail on the high seas and meeting Jarlaxle. And I'm really excited to see where that goes next week. Obviously, shout out to Tahina, who's going to be here today. We missed her a lot and look forward to seeing her next week. I'm here for one last Monday on the 10th of December playing the Jury, It's our finale for Call of Cthulhu, and I'm very excited about that. We're not playing next week because everyone is traveling back from PAX, including me. So if you're going to be at PAX Unplugged this weekend, I will also be there. And it was basically decided last night. So yeah, message me on Twitter and let me know what you're doing, and I will be around.
I'm so
And
jealous.
the only other thing I have really going on is tomorrow night I will be playing Warhammer on Encounter Roleplay, 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm very excited. Played with Pruitt and Jim from WebDM. Of course, Encounter Will is there. We have the wonderful Cherry Bobon with us, and it's a really fun game. And we're ne'er-do-wells, and we're not doing well. So it's kind of like this game in some ways. But there is a great big Skaven invasion happening, and we're about to lose the sea. So that's fun. And yes, that's me. Thanks to everyone for playing. I love chat who join in every week, and I always love the wild magic surges that they bring along with them.
Yes, fantastic. I've still got some to work through. I've got a great big list of all the wild magic surges. I make more notes on wild magic surges than anything else. Let's just say in the next 2
Welcome to
episodes,
my life.
things are going to be fiery. Yeah, but you do it so well. I'm trying to hold the candle to you now. So that yeah, like I said, I've plugged Tahina there as well. I've put her Twitter down there. Go and check out all the things she gets up to. She's absolutely wonderful. Tahina will be back hopefully next week and for the finale. Unfortunately, next season she can't make it on the show, which is a shame. I really wanted her to be on introducing new players to the game. I was going to put her in a viewer game, but unfortunately, with her work commitments, she just can't do it. Which is a real shame. She's an absolutely wonderful person. You guys should go and follow her and check out all of the wonderful things she does. As for me, social links there, Twitter, Discord, YouTube. We've also got a Patreon. We've also got merchandise over on Redbubble. Today you get 25% site-wide using the code GET25 today. We also have Bird in the Storm Publishing, who are our sponsors. You should check out their content, and Mage Hand Press, who created the Dark Matter 5e space expansion. We are going to head across and we are going to raid Sleepy Mia tonight. Sleepy Mia working on some more artwork. We're going to raid in with that raid cry that Potato Hollow has sorted out for us. Call in the Dad Army as we head across. Thank you so much for viewing, everyone. We're live Monday to Thursday, 1 p.m, 6 p.m, 10 p.m. EST. Next week there will be some finales. The week after, or it's basically next week is all penultimate episodes or finales. So things are really going to be spicing up across the board in all our campaigns. So looking forward to seeing you there. Keep on evoking emotions, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.